Chapter 3190. Rip. The tip of the star-concealing sword was extremely sharp. When it came into contact with the demonic chi star, it instantly unleashed the might of an Emperor Realm expert. Powerful energy quickly gathered at the tip of the sword. Fang Chen even activated the 5 immortal star cores in his body. The mighty immortal star energy merged into the star-concealing sword, increasing its offensive power by more than 2 times. Catcher. The demonic chi star's defense was extremely strong, and it was also protected by the demonic chi. But at this moment, the might of the star-concealing sword was fully unleashed. With the help of the immortal star cores, it directly broke through the defense. Whoosh! Whoosh! The invincible sword chi burst out like a flood and drilled into the demonic chi star. In an instant, the demonic chi star began to tremble, and the energy inside became chaotic. Tu Wanmo's face changed drastically. He was shocked to find that his control over the demonic chi star was getting weaker and weaker. Not good. Tu Wanmo shouted in his heart. He stomped his foot and retreated rapidly. At the same time, he sucked the demonic chi star into his palm. Catcher. Tu Wanmo exerted more strength in his palm, and the demonic chi star cracked. Break. Tu Wanmo, who was in his ultimate demonized state, had the offensive power of a world king expert. He roared furiously, and cracks appeared on the demonic chi star. Whoosh! As Tu Wanmo exerted more strength, the demonic chi star could no longer hold on. The energy inside was in a mess, and in the blink of an eye, it could no longer hold on. At this moment, Tu Wanmo shook his wrist and threw the demonic chi star out again. But this time, the demonic chi star suddenly began to expand. In just a breath's time, it completely recovered to its original size and became incomparably huge. At this moment, the energy inside the demonic chi star had reached its peak, and it suddenly shattered. The star shattered, and the majestic energy rushed in like a flood. Even the ancient space-time road was affected by it. Primal Chaos Sword Body. Fang Chen pushed the Primal Chaos Sword Body to the extreme. At the same time, the star-concealing sword and the immortal scepter were crazily revolving, releasing a powerful Emperor Realm aura. They pierced towards the shattered demonic chi star at lightning speed. Boom boom boom! The attacks of the star-concealing sword and the immortal scepter greatly weakened the violent power of the demon chi star after it shattered. However, he was still unable to completely block it. Fang Chen's body was instantly submerged by the terrifying torrent of power. Be careful! Ouyang Luoxue exclaimed loudly from nearby, and her pretty face was covered in worry. She wanted to help, but her body shivered. The power of a star exploding was far too great. Unless one was a world king powerhouse or above, no one could block it. Let's see if you can survive this time. Tu Wanmo stood in midair, looking down at the terrifying power that had turned into a sea of fire. No matter how great your potential is, what's the use? In the end, won't you still turn into a pile of bones? Tu Wanmo said coldly, I, Tu Wanmo, am the real peerless genius. I am destined to reach the peak of martial arts in the future and become a supreme expert like the immortal emperor. I will dominate the immemorial chaos. You are just stepping stones in my cultivation. At this moment, Tu Wanmo was filled with pride as he vented out all his thoughts. He spread out his hands and terrifying power surged. I don't believe that such power can't kill you. Tu Wanmo shook his head. After this battle, he would be invincible in the World Lord realm within the world capital. His next step would be to leave the world capital and head to a wider stage to face stronger enemies. The ancient space-time road is only the starting point for me to slaughter demons. Tu Wanmo said in a low voice. He raised his head and his pitch-black eyes looked at the end of the ancient space-time road. Everything that had happened when he entered the Black Altar flashed through his mind. At that time, he was almost killed by Fang Chen. At the crucial moment, his primordial spirit escaped and entered the Black Altar. From there, he experienced the chaotic space-time and returned to the past. He obtained the supreme inheritance of the demonic path and obtained the strength he had today. Speaking of which, I still have to thank you. If you didn't force me, I wouldn't have obtained such a powerful inheritance. Tu Wanmo said gloomily, to thank you for everything you have done for me, I will destroy all your family and friends, as well as the sect you once joined. At this point, killing intent surged from Tu Wanmo's body. His cold gaze looked towards Ouyang Luoxue. Now, you don't even have the right to be my woman. Tu Wanmo took a step forward and arrived before Ouyang Luoxue. However, how can I bear to kill a beauty like you? Stay and be my maid and serve me. Otherwise, only death awaits you. As soon as he finished speaking, Tu Wanmo stretched out his hand and grabbed Ouyang Luoxue's fair neck. He didn't give Ouyang Luoxue any chance to resist. Hoo hoo hoo. A shocking wave of fire suddenly rose from the vast sea of fire. The powerful wave of fire formed a pillar of fire. Whoosh. Taking a closer look, one could see that there was a figure on top of the flame pillar. However, before Tu Wanmo could react, a resplendent sword light whistled over. Crack. His arm was instantly severed by the sword light. Blood sprayed out as he screamed in agony. Bang. Then, he was sent flying by a powerful force. Are you okay? Fang Chen asked as he removed the severed arm from Ouyang Luoxue's neck. Ouyang Luoxue shook her head. Her pale face was filled with shock. At this moment, she didn't know what to say. Ah! Tu Wanmo roared in anger. He looked at his severed arm and the flames in his heart soared into the sky. If I don't tear you to pieces, I swear I'm not human. Tu Wanmo demonified again. Monstrous demonic energy swept over. Although Tu Wanmo was furious, his heart was also shaken. Especially after seeing Fang Chen, huge waves surged in his heart. He couldn't imagine how this transcendent world lord blocked the power of the star explosion. One had to know that even a world king expert wouldn't dare to take it head-on. Invincible sword technique. Fang Chen used the 8th move of the invincible sword technique, star-breaking sword. Resplendent sword light flashed in the air as stars shot out. At the same time, he activated the immortal star core and released the full power of the immortal scepter. The two emperor weapons worked together to encircle and annihilate the 10,000 demons. After demonifying, Tu Wanmo's attack power was greatly reduced and even showed signs of falling. Fang Chen used this chance to deal a heavy blow to Tu Wanmo. Poochie. The hidden star sword stabbed into Tu Wanmo's chest with invincible sword energy. At the same time, the immortal scepter smashed into Tu Wanmo's head. Catcher. Tu Wanmo's head shattered and his body exploded. Shio. A ball of primordial spirit light shot out in an attempt to escape this place. This time, I won't give you a chance. Fang Chen chased after it and used the Great Rock Movement technique. In the blink of an eye, he blocked Tu Wanmo's Yuan spirit. Catcher. Without waiting for Tu Wanmo to speak, he swung his sword and killed him. Hoo. Light fell from the sky and the terrifying aura slowly dissipated. The ancient road of spacetime regained its calm. Only the wretched scene at the end could prove that a great battle had just taken place here. In the distance, Ouyang Luoxue was stunned. Her eyes were filled with disbelief. Tu Wanmo was dead. After demonifying, a peak transcendent world lord's battle power was comparable to a world king. However, such a powerful existence had died at the hands of Fang Chen. Ouyang Luoxue couldn't accept this. Back then, when she entered the world capital's barrier, Fang Chen hadn't even become a world lord yet. In just a few years, he had grown to such a shocking level. After a long while, Ouyang Luoxue came back to her senses. Her eyes flashed as she looked at Fang Chen with a complicated expression. She was speechless for a long time. Fang Chen put away the hidden star sword and immortal scepter and walked to Ouyang Luoxue's side. How many people have entered the ancient road of space-time? Only the 4 of us, Ouyang Luoxue said faintly. Fang Chen nodded. His eyes flashed as he looked ahead. After cultivating for so many years, it was time to return. How did you block the power of the star explosion? In the end, Ouyang Luoxue couldn't help but ask Fang Chen. The power of the star explosion was unimaginable. However, Fang Chen blocked it and was unharmed. She couldn't understand. Do you want to know? Chapter 3191. Under Ouyang Luoxue's curious gaze, Fang Chen's mind moved, and an armor formed by the power of time and space covered his skin. Light flowed, and his aura surged. This is Ouyang Luoxue was slightly curious. Could it be that Fang Chen used this armor to block the terrifying might of the explosion earlier? This armor is formed by the power of time and space. As long as there is an endless supply of the power of time and space, it can unleash its greatest power, Fang Chen said with a smile. This armor was called the armor of time and space. It was left behind by the king of time and space. Although the armor was damaged, and the internal patterns were severely damaged, it was still not something an ordinary armor could compare to. According to the records left behind by the king of time and space, if this armor was in perfect condition, it was many times stronger than an emperor weapon. But now, because of the internal damage, its defensive power was at most equal to an emperor weapon. However, this was the ancient road of time and space, created by the king of time and space. The power of time and space was endless, which also created the powerful defensive power of the armor. The explosion of the star was very powerful. Even Fang Chen was a little afraid. At the critical moment, he activated the armor of time and space to block the explosion. Moreover, he used the rock movement technique and easily passed through it. 2Wan Mo probably did not know how Fang Chen did it. Ouyang Luoxue nodded lightly and smiled brightly at Fang Chen. "You're even more beautiful when you smile," Fang Chen said. Ouyang Luoxue was stunned. Then, she stopped smiling and blushed. Soon, she returned to her usual cold and aloof appearance. "Let's go," Fang Chen said. Ouyang Luoxue lowered her head and followed Fang Chen. She was thinking about something. Soon, Fang Chen stopped on the ancient road of time and space. Ouyang Luoxue was a little surprised. She did not know what Fang Chen wanted to do. "Wait for me here for a while." With that, Fang Chen's figure flashed and disappeared into the star filled with demonic qi. Wang. In the sky, the sealed sky tablet grew rapidly and turned into a giant stone tablet. It stood in the sky and a powerful sealing power descended continuously, completely sealing the entire demonic qi star. "It's time to put an end to this," Fang Chen said softly as he stepped into the demonic qi star once again. Roar. When the rhinoceros god sensed Fang Chen's aura, it raised its head to the sky and roared. Its gong-sized eyes stared furiously at Fang Chen. "Human, you dare to come back?" The divine rhinoceros said coldly. "If you hadn't run away quickly that day, I would have killed you." Fang Chen shrugged disapprovingly. This action angered the rhinoceros god even more. Roar. The divine rhinoceros let out a furious roar and charged forward with its huge body. Although its horns were broken, they were still able to erupt with great power. Rip. A cold light flickered on the horn, and a terrifying power burst out from the horn. Wherever the horns passed, the void shattered, and demonic aura filled the air. Whoosh, whoosh, whoosh. Against Fang Chen, the divine rhinoceros god didn't hold back at all. It used its strongest move to deal with him. In the blink of an eye, the offensive power of the horns had reached its strongest. The entire sky darkened completely. At this moment, Ouyang Luoxue, who was on the ancient road of time and space, felt the demonic qi star shake violently. She raised her eyebrows and looked through the seal to look inside the star. Dong, dong, dong. She could feel a powerful force colliding with the seal. However, the seal was stronger than she had imagined. No matter how strong the force was, it only trembled slightly. Roar. Not long after, miserable cries could be heard coming from the star. Crash. The heaven-sealing tablet shrank, and the sealing power quickly dissipated. The demonic qi star appeared in front of Ouyang Luoxue. "Ancient divine rhinoceros?" Ouyang Luoxue exclaimed when she saw the huge divine rhinoceros god lying in the center of the star. But soon, she felt relieved. Even Tu Wanmo, who had undergone ultimate demonization, could be killed. A mere divine rhinoceros was nothing. After dealing with the divine rhinoceros god, Fang Chen absorbed all the immortal star power in its horns. Whoosh, whoosh, whoosh. 5 immortal star cores shook. The immortal star power was full. "When we get out, I'll start forming the 6th immortal star core," Fang Chen said after some thought. Then, he put the divine rhinoceros god's body into Immortal Cave Mountain and let the little mouse and the others split it among themselves. He returned to the ancient road of time and space and left with Ouyang Luoxue. The world city's barrier was boundless. Ever since the battle at Spirit Formation Mountain, all of the sector lords were trembling with fear. Every day, they were on edge, afraid that they would encounter Fang Chen. However, they had also gained something in the past few years. In a world where the strong preyed on the weak, only the fittest survived. Some people died in the process of searching for fortuitous opportunities, while others succeeded in obtaining powerful inheritance treasures. From there, their strength skyrocketed. In short, the barrier had changed a lot in the past few years. World lords would occasionally pass through the calm barrier. Rumble. At a certain moment, the sky above World City that had been silent for a long time suddenly trembled. Then, dark clouds gathered and tribulation lightning appeared. Above the cloud-filled sky, a spacetime gate was faintly discernible. This scene caused the World City's barrier to tremble. All of the sector lords were staring at the Spirit Formation Mountain without blinking. They wanted to know exactly what had happened. Whoosh, whoosh. Around the gate of time and space, lightning flashed and thunder roared. A terrifying power swept out. However, at this moment, a man and woman walked out side by side. The moment they stepped out of the gate of time and space, the terrifying power instantly disappeared. The gate of time and space also dissipated. The sky returned to normal. That's Ouyang Luoxue. Who is that man? Why is he walking side by side with Ouyang Luoxue? Why does this person look so familiar? Suddenly, someone in the crowd exclaimed, "His world lord Sky Heart." Boom. The entire barrier shook. Everyone looked at World Lord Sky Heart with fear. After so many years, World Lord Sky Heart has finally appeared. As expected of World Lord Sky Heart. His strength is abnormal. Even from so far away, I can feel the powerful pressure from his body. Of course. Otherwise, how could he walk side by side with Ouyang Luoxue? At this moment, all the world lords in the barrier were discussing Fang Chen. What do you plan to do next? On the peak of World City, Fang Chen smiled and asked. There were still 80 to 90 years until the World Lord Conference ended. I've gained quite a bit from the ancient road of time and space. I plan to find a hidden place to cultivate and come out after 100 years. Ouyang Luoxue nodded lightly. I have the same intention. Fang Chen said. Then we'll meet again. After speaking, Fang Chen's body flashed and he disappeared into the void. Oh my god, how fast is his speed? Too fast. This speed is enough to sweep through the world city. Don't offend World Lord Sky Heart. Many world lords felt fear in their hearts and they quickly dispersed. Only Ouyang Luoxue looked in the direction Fang Chen disappeared. Her lips curled up and she revealed a faint smile. What an interesting fellow. Ouyang Luoxue's heart rippled as she thought back to how Fang Chen had single-handedly saved her when she was captured by Tu Wanmo. Maybe 100 years later, when we meet again, you'll have stepped into the World King realm. Ouyang Luoxue murmured. After interacting with Fang Chen for a period of time, she was very clear of his potential. How strong was he? Even the person with the strongest potential in the history of the Ouyang world couldn't compare to him. One could imagine that in the near future, his name would resound throughout the northern region. His stage wasn't the world city but the vast primordial chaos. A beautiful light flashed and the world city returned to its calm state. The enchantment gradually regained its calm, and many sector lords also entered a state of non-stop cultivation. Time passed and years changed. Everyone was fighting for their dreams. In the outside world, the various powers in the world city were also waiting for the opening of the world city. Because within the world city were the most outstanding prodigies of their respective powers. The 5 kings of the world city were drinking and talking about which prodigies would be able to step into the transcendent realm and which prodigies would be able to obtain the inheritance treasure. Chapter 3192. In the previous Realm Lord conferences, the ones who stood out in the end were all transcendent realm lords of the realm capital. However, this time, there was one person from the eastern region who had appeared out of nowhere. He was very similar to the peerless genius from the eastern region 10,000 years ago. It was also because of his existence that the Eastern region was able to occupy 9 spots in the Realm Lord Conference. From the Minor Tribulation Supremacy Realm to the Grand Tribulation Supremacy Realm, and then to the Transcendent Realm. Every time Fang Chen broke through, it would cause a huge commotion. Now, Fang Chen's body had broken through to the Emperor Realm, and the hidden Star Sword had become an Emperor weapon. He had comprehended the rock movement technique and completely fused it with space-time, making his speed extremely fast. Even a powerhouse who had just stepped into the World King realm might not be able to catch up to him. Apart from that, his greatest gain was his comprehension of the space-time Tao. It had to be said that the space-time Tao was all-encompassing. Fang Chen and the Bone Progenitor had only created one of the many Taos. The true space-time Tao was created by the space-time King. His inheritance contained a vast and profound space-time Tao. Fang Chen had only comprehended a little bit of it, but he was able to fuse the power of space-time with the rock movement technique. Back then, the 5 kings of the realm capital had decided that the Realm Lord Conference would last for 100 years. In other words, they could all cultivate within the barrier during these 100 years. Once the 100 years were up, the barrier would completely close. However, more than 10 years had passed, and many powerhouses had fallen, including the 3 Transcendent Realm Lords. The reason why the Shinshan School's Realm Lord Blazeheart hadn't fallen was because Fang Chen still had a great use for him. He had used him to exchange for Princess Xin. After walking out of the ancient road of spacetime, Fang Chen bid farewell to Ouyang Luoxue and then found a secret place to begin cultivating. Although his strength had increased by leaps and bounds over the years, Fang Chen hadn't forgotten his foundation. The peak of the martial path wasn't something that could be reached overnight. Therefore, long-term cultivation and the foundation were the most important. Only by strengthening one's foundation could one reach the peak of the martial path. Within the huge spirit boundary, everything became calm once again. The bloody scene that should have appeared had completely disappeared because of the deaths of Tu Wanmo and the other powerhouses. Many sector lords' expressions changed when they talked about Fang Chen. They were terrified from the bottom of their hearts, especially when they thought back to the Battle of Boundary Mountain. If they hadn't escaped quickly and Fang Chen didn't want to lower himself to their level, they would have already lost their lives. They cherished this hard-won life. In a certain forest, the true martial realm lord and the others sat cross-legged on the bluestone, looking at each other in dismay. After a long time, Realm Lord Boundless sighed, "I didn't expect that in a short 10 years, Realm Lord Skyheart has already reached such a terrifying level." "That's right. Speaking of which, he came from your boundless world." The sector lords sighed. If it wasn't for Fang Chen, they probably would have died in the corpse demon's hands. No matter what, this World Lord Conference might change the situation a little. The master of the Blood Demon sector said in a low voice. Hearing this, the eyes of the few realm lords, including the realm lord of Zhenwu, flashed with a glimmer of light. They naturally understood what the master of the Blood Demon sector meant. Let's wait until the Realm Lord Conference is over. Time passed in the blink of an eye. 80 years had passed since the opening of the Boundary Mountain. And it had been 60 years since Fang Chen came out of the ancient road of time and space. During this period of time, he seemed to have disappeared from the world and never appeared. Some people even said that Fang Chen might have encountered a problem when he was cultivating, causing him to go berserk and die somewhere in the Boundary Mountain. There were also some people who thought that with Fang Chen's strength, unless he encountered a great danger, it was impossible for his life to be in danger. No matter how they guessed, Fang Chen didn't appear. And in these 80 years, a lot of changes had occurred in the Boundary Mountain. 30 years ago, a flaming lion appeared out of thin air. It used its absolute strength to crush human warriors. Even a peak sector lord couldn't withstand a single attack from it. And this flaming lion seemed to specifically target human warriors. In a short 30 years, it had already slaughtered more than 30 sector lords. On this day, the flaming lion arrived at the peak of Boundary Mountain. Roar! A flaming red-furred lion with a huge body stood at the peak of Boundary Mountain. It roared towards the sky, as if telling the world that this Boundary Mountain was its territory. Not good, the flaming lion has appeared. Run, if the flaming lion goes crazy, we'll definitely die. Many sector lords who were cultivating were awakened by the roar and quickly left the barrier mountain. Hoo. However, there was a beautiful figure in the air that flew in the opposite direction of where everyone was fleeing. Human. The flaming lion's large eyes stared at the incoming Ouyang Luoxue and said eerily, "You're looking to die." After it finished speaking, the raging flame lion suddenly opened its mouth. Scorching flames shot out from its mouth. Kaboom! The entire boundary mountain instantly became a sea of fire. Ouyang Luoxue's body was also drowned in flames. Whoosh! Ouyang Luoxue's figure flickered while a layer of milky white light enveloped her, and it helped her resist the attacks of the flames. "You dare to use such a move in front of me?" The flaming lion sneered and stomped down, causing the mountain to shake. Ouyang Luoxue's body also shook. Using this chance, the flaming lion suddenly pounced in front of Ouyang Luoxue. Peng! Its large claws sent Ouyang Luoxue flying. Dong! Ouyang Luoxue's body fell at the foot of Boundary Mountain. Her expression changed greatly. Peak Transcendent Sector Lord level? Her pupils constricted and she was slightly terrified. The flaming lion's strength exceeded her imagination. Go! Ouyang Luoxue didn't hesitate and gave up on the battle and prepared to flee. "You think you can escape?" The blazing lion sneered endlessly. Soon after, monstrous flames transformed into a thick pillar of fire that ruthlessly shot towards Ouyang Luoxue's back. This attack contained the flaming lion's innate ability. Even if a transcendent sector lord was hit, they would be instantly burned to ashes. The flaming lion's eyes were filled with mockery. What it loved the most was the scene of humans fleeing. Oftentimes, it would give people hope and then make them despair. It's time to end this. The flaming lion opened its mouth and spat out flames. The pillar of fire chasing Ouyang Luoxue instantly expanded and shot towards her at a speed invisible to the naked eye. Seeing that she was about to be hit, Ouyang Luoxue clenched her teeth and prepared to fight to the death. However, just at this moment, a large hand pressed down on her shoulder, and then with a forceful pull, Ouyang Luoxue's body instantly lost its center of gravity and directly fell into the embrace of the person who'd arrived. The sudden change shocked Ouyang Luoxue. She prepared to resist, but a familiar voice sounded by her ear. "Back off." After speaking, Fang Chen's figure flashed and charged towards the pillar of fire. Dong! A deafening sound echoed across the sky. After Fang Chen's body charged into the pillar of fire instantly shattered. In the sky, flames shot everywhere and a terrifying shockwave swept across the land. Achem! Seeing this, the flaming lion's expression changed and its large eyes stared at Fang Chen. "Human?" The flaming lion spoke in human language. "You want to be the hero and save the beauty?" Fang Chen remained silent and stared coldly at the flaming lion. "Since that's the case, I'll fulfill your wish." After speaking, the flaming lion opened its bloody mouth and torrential flames surged out. The scorching flames seemed to burn the sky. "Too weak." Fang Chen shook his head. The flaming lion's attack power was at most on par with Slaughter Thousand Demon. If it was 60 years ago, he might have been afraid. However, in these 60 years, his strength had shown an explosive growth. Although he was still a sector lord, his attack power was unimaginable. Hoo. The torrential flames covered the sky and charged towards Fang Chen. Fang Chen raised his hand and lightly pressed towards the air. Crack! The torrential flames that swarmed over were instantly shattered into pieces and dissipated into the air. "How is this possible?" The flaming lion cried out in shock. At the same time, the sector lords who were watching from afar cheered excitedly. "It's the Skyheart Sector Lord. Ha, I knew that the Skyheart Sector Lord would be fine. Now that he's here, the flaming lion is dead." Chapter 3193. Although the raging flame lion wasn't an ancient pureblood descendant, its bloodline was still extremely rare in the monster race. Especially its ability to control fire. Its innate ability was a sea of fire that could burn a transcendent world lord to ashes. From this, one could imagine how terrifying it was. The human race and the demon race had different body structures, different innate abilities, and different bloodlines. In all aspects, the demon race could completely crush the human race at the same cultivation level. Thus, although the raging flame lion was only a peak transcendent world lord monster, its attack power was comparable to a world king realm human powerhouse. This was also the reason why the raging flame lion could act so tyrannically in the enchantment. In the eyes of the raging flame lion, Fang Chen was only an insignificant human, nothing to fear. But this time, it was wrong. Catcher. Facing the raging flames, Fang Chen didn't panic. He raised his palm and lightly slapped out. Immediately, the torrential flames were instantly dispersed. Sparks flew in all directions and fell to the bottom of the Spirit Formation Mountain. This scene caused a huge uproar. Many world lords were shouting the name of the Skyheart World Lord. Their days of fear were finally over. They no longer had to worry about the raging flame lion chasing after them. The raging flame lion stood on the summit of the Enchantment Mountain. Its fiery red fur stood on end. Its large eyes stared at Fang Chen. Interesting. I didn't think that a transcendent world lord like you would appear in the human race. The raging flame lion licked its withered lips and eerily said, "Submit to me and be my servant. Then, I can spare your life." Facing the raging flame lion's words, Fang Chen didn't reply. On the other hand, the little mouse and the others in Dark Cave Mountain were enraged. This damned stupid lion. After killing it, I'll definitely roast its flesh and eat it. Mph. It dares to make boss its servant. How amazing. Seeing Fang Chen remain silent, the raging flame lion thought that Fang Chen was afraid. Don't worry. Follow me and this enchantment will be our territory. The raging flame lion continued. Fang Chen took a step forward and appeared at the summit of the Enchantment Mountain. He gently shook his head, his expression still calm. When you massacred the human warriors, there was nothing more to say between us. You, boom. The raging flame lion was completely enraged as it soared into the sky. Damned fellow, I gave you a chance, but you didn't know how to cherish it. You chose your own path, so you can't blame others for your death. Suddenly, the raging flame lion struck. It pushed its innate ability to the extreme. A sea of fire surrounded the Spirit Formation Mountain. It wanted to burn Fang Chen to ashes. 4 seas and 8 desolations. Burn the world. The raging flame lion opened its bloody mouth and spat out its essence blood into the sea of flames. Instantly, the power of the sea of flames increased by several times. Hoo. Fang Chen's figure flashed. Like a great rock spreading its wings, he disappeared into the sea of fire like a ghost. With Fang Chen's current speed, no matter how strong the sea of fire was, it couldn't touch his body at all. How could it pose a threat to him? Die. The raging flame lion madly stirred the sea of fire with monstrous power. It swooped down and exploded on the mountain. Dong dong dong. Cracks appeared on the mountain because it couldn't withstand the powerful attack of the raging flame lion. It even showed signs of collapsing. Die for me. The raging flame lion fell into a state of madness because it found that it couldn't capture the figure of this human. The raging flame lion's big paw suddenly pressed down, and the Spirit Formation Mountain collapsed in an instant. Gravel flew everywhere. The monstrous sea of fire engulfed the entire earth and the void trembled. It wanted to use this method to force Fang Chen to appear. Crash. Fang Chen appeared in the sea of fire and grinned. Your sea of fire is just SOSO. After saying that, he shook his wrist. The hidden star sword drew a strange trajectory, carrying endless power, penetrating the sea of fire and shooting toward the raging flame lion. Raging flame defense. The raging flame lion was very confident in its defense. The flame armor instantly covered its whole body. Your swordsmanship is too weak. However, before it finished speaking, it was completely shocked. Poochie. A sharp and clear sound resounded. The sharp tip of the hidden star sword easily penetrated the flaming armor and penetrated the huge body of the raging flame lion. This, my raging flame armor, no. The raging flame lion felt fear and roared in anger. However, the power of the broken star sword completely exploded. The invincible sword chi in its body continuously destroyed its internal organs. In the blink of an eye, the raging flame lion couldn't stand. Its huge body swayed. In the end, with an unwilling expression, it fell to the ground and lost all signs of life. Hoo. The sea of fire quickly shrunk and disappeared. The heavens and earth were in silence. All the sector lords stuck their heads out, wanting to prove that their eyes weren't playing tricks on them. The Spirit Formation Mountain had already collapsed. On the rubble, a huge red body had already lost all signs of life. Fang Chen stood in the air with his hands behind his back. The raging flame lion is dead. Someone exclaimed. Instantly, the silent heavens and earth were filled with frenzied shouts again. Too strong, the raging flame lion's strength has already reached the peak transcendent sector lord level. However, it still wasn't the Sky Heart sector lord's match. Yeah, the Sky Heart sector lord didn't even use his full strength and killed it with one sword. Such a monster is truly terrifying. Many sector lords thought back to the battle of the Spirit Formation Mountain and felt regret. The true martial sector lord and the others in the eastern region looked at each other, their hearts shaking. Only Ouyang Luoxue wasn't surprised. 60 years ago, at the end of the ancient space-time path, Fang Chen was already able to kill Tu Wanmo, who was comparable to a world king. What was a mere raging flame lion? On the other hand, the gap between her and Fang Chen was getting bigger and bigger. When she thought up to here, an unusual feeling arose in her heart. Once, she was the daughter of the Ouyang family, the daughter of the heavens. But now, she was surpassed by such a young martial artist. Within Dark Cave Mountain, Fang Chen put away the raging flame lion's body. The little mouse and the others were very happy. Ha ha ha, although the raging flame lion's bloodline isn't as good as a pureblood, it's still strong enough. Its flesh contains a great amount of energy and is suitable for roasting. As they spoke, the little mouse had already started a fire. As for Xiao Huang and the others, they quickly dissected the raging flame lion's body. Is it done? Xiao Huang asked. The little mouse nodded and placed one of the raging flame lion's leg bones on a wooden stick. Wait. Suddenly, the pureblood beast woke up from its cultivation and hurriedly called out. The raging flame lion's bloodline contains the power of ice and fire. Roasting it with fire will destroy its internal energy. If that's the case, it won't be of much use. The pureblood beast said. Obviously, the pureblood beast had more say in the monster race bloodline. Then what should we do? The little mouse asked. Let me do it. The pureblood beast walked to the raging flame lion's body, bit its finger, and dripped a drop of blood. Hiss. In an instant, the blood was absorbed by the raging flame lion's flesh and blood, and then some changes occurred. A moment later, the fiery red flesh and blood turned dark gray. The pureblood beast nodded. I've already used my blood to purify the power of ice and fire in the raging flame lion's flesh. It can be roasted now. Ha ha ha, we can finally eat. The little guys couldn't wait to start roasting. Not long after, the fragrance of the meat wafted through the air. Everyone was eating the meat in big mouthfuls. After eating for a while, Fang Chen said, "You guys eat first. I'll go out for a while." Before he left, Fang Chen took away one of the raging flame lion's legs. Night fell and the stars twinkled. On a small hill, Ouyang Luoxue, dressed in snow-white clothes, sat quietly. Her beautiful eyes stared at the stars in the sky as if she was thinking about something. Whoosh! Fang Chen silently appeared. What are you thinking about? Ouyang Luoxue looked away and shook her head. Nothing. Here. Fang Chen handed the raging flame lion's leg to Ouyang Luoxue. The little guys were clamoring to eat it, so I roasted it. The raging flame lion's flesh is a great supplement. Ouyang Luoxue hesitated and didn't take it. Take it, Fang Chen said with a smile. Why? Ouyang Luoxue seriously sized up Fang Chen. Her red lips parted slightly as she asked in a low voice. Chapter 3194. World Capital. In a splendid city, there was an endless stream of people coming and going on the streets. However, at this moment, in the clouds above the sky, there were 5 old men in their twilight years, standing in the air. The 5 of them looked at each other with smiles on their faces. If anyone was here, they would be shocked. The 5 kings of the world capital usually didn't show themselves unless something major happened. The World Lord Conference is finally over. The grey-robed old man sighed. 100 years can create geniuses, but it can also destroy geniuses. I wonder if this World Lord Conference will meet our expectations. Another old man said. This time, the World Lord Conference will be held at the boundary. The environment there is harsh and the competition is fierce. It will be very difficult to stand out. The four kings expressed their opinions one after another. Finally, their gazes fell on the World Capital Lord. The World Capital Lord stroked his beard and slowly raised his head. His deep eyes stared at the entrance of the boundary. 2-1 more of the Demon Hand Sect, Yang Xin of the Shinshan School, Poison Hand of the 10,000 Poisons Sect, Jing Lang of the Black Wolf Mountain, and Ouyang Luoxue of the Ouyang family. These 5 are all geniuses who have the strength to step into the transcendent realm. The World Capital Lord said slowly. The other 4 nodded. These 5 were recognized as the strongest. However, other than them, I think there is one more person who has the potential. Hearing this, the 4 were a little surprised. Other than these 5, who else had the potential to step into the transcendent realm? Who is it? They asked curiously. The World Capital Lord shook his head and smiled. You will know when the time comes. Buzz. At this moment, in the sky above the World Capital Square, ripples suddenly appeared in the blue sky. These ripples twisted in an extremely strange path and finally intertwined together to create a powerful spatial ripple. Above the ripple, a void door suddenly appeared. The appearance of the void door caused a commotion in the entire world capital. At the same time, everyone stopped in their tracks and raised their heads, staring at the void door with burning eyes. Has the boundary opened? Everyone cheered. The opening of the boundary meant that the World Lord Conference was about to come to an end. No one knew what had happened inside the boundary in the past 100 years. Whoosh whoosh whoosh. The void gate was completely open, and a terrifying power was leaking out from it. However, the void gate was still not stable enough. It was still shaking. A series of whooshes could be heard from the distance, as the leaders of various factions arrived. Ha ha ha, 100 years is just the blink of an eye. A hearty laugh came from afar. Then, an old man in a black battle robe appeared in the clouds. Black Wolf Mountain Lord, how have you been? The Realm City Lord nodded gently. The newcomer was none other than the leader of Black Wolf Mountain, one of the major forces in Realm City. Realm Lord Jing Lang is a super genius that only appears once in a trillion years in my Black Wolf Mountain. I have confidence in him. Black Wolf Mountain Lord said with a smile. He couldn't wait to meet Realm Lord Jing Lang. Stepping into the transcendental realm wasn't a problem at all. He even boldly guessed that World Master Jing Lang had a high chance of stepping into the World King realm. After Black Wolf Mountain Lord arrived, the other major factions arrived one after another. The sect master of the 10,000 Poisons sect was emitting a terrifying poisonous aura. No one dared to approach him. He stood in the clouds, staring at the void door. He didn't greet the 5 kings of Realm City. After that, Devil Hand sect master also arrived. Compared to the 10,000 Poisons sect, Black Wolf Mountain and Devil Hand sect were considered inferior. Thus, Devil Hand sect master's status was naturally inferior to Black Wolf Mountain Lord and the others. He stood below the clouds, staring at the void door with a burning gaze. Whether or not my Devil Hand sect can rise up depends on 2-1 more alone. It could be said that Devil Hand sect had placed all their hopes on 2-1 more. As long as 2-1 more stepped into the transcendental realm, would he still be far from the World King realm? His Devil Hand sect would definitely rise up in the near future. The last faction to arrive was Shinshan School. However, the Shinshan School master didn't come. Instead, he sent 2 elders. Many factions gathered in Realm City to welcome the geniuses who had participated in the Realm Lord Conference 100 years ago. Rumble. The 5 kings of Realm City worked together to stabilize the void door. The terrifying aura no longer spread. Rip. After waiting for a long time, someone finally came out of the void door. Ha ha ha, it's a disciple of my Mountain River sect. In the plaza of Realm City, the people of the Mountain River sect happily welcomed the disciples. Following closely behind, one after another, realm lords appeared. They're finally out. It's good to be alive. Many realm lords took a deep breath of fresh air after coming out and sighed. Time passed bit by bit. Those that came out early were all ordinary realm lords. Of course, there were also some that became peak realm lords. An hour later, the leaders of the large factions frowned. What's going on? Why haven't my Shinshin school disciples come out yet? The Shinshin school elder asked in confusion. Don't be impatient. The space within the barrier is very vast. Maybe they're on the way. The realm city lord laughed. The large factions could only wait patiently. Not long after, Fang Chen and Ouyang Luoshua walked out of the barrier side by side. As soon as he appeared, it caused an uproar. Those sector lords who walked out of the barrier alive were extremely shocked when they saw Fang Chen. Skyheart Realm Lord. Many people were shouting the name of the Heavenheart Realm Lord. Wang. At this moment, the Void Gate was gradually collapsing. What's going on? Why is the Void Gate unstable? My Black Wolf Mountain disciples are still inside. The Black Wolf Mountain Lord couldn't hold it in anymore and asked the 5 kings. 5 kings, please work together to stabilize the Void Gate. The 10,000 Poison sect leader said darkly. In the face of this sudden change, even the 5 kings of the world capital were somewhat taken aback. They looked at each other in disbelief. Wang. In the blink of an eye, the Void Gate closed and disappeared from the world. What's going on? The Shinshin School, 10,000 Poison Sect, Black Wolf Mountain, Devil Hand Sect and the other powers were all anxious as they looked at the 5 kings. After confirming that the Realm City was in seclusion, the Realm City Lord sighed and shook his head. Everyone, the Void Gate is completely closed. Why is it like this? My Devil Hand Sect hasn't come out yet. At this moment, Devil Hand Sect leader couldn't care less and roared. The Realm City's barrier is controlled by the 5 of us. The disappearance of the Void Gate means that everyone inside has come out. The grey-robed elder waved his hand and signaled for everyone to be quiet. You're saying that my Black Wolf Mountain's Jing Lang died in the barrier? And my Shinshin School's Blazing Heart Realm Lord? My 10,000 Poison Sect's Merciless Hand Realm Lord didn't come out either. Everyone else had come out, except for the 4 great experts. None of them had come out, which infuriated the 4 great powers. The 5 kings remained silent. Their meaning was clear. If they didn't come out, then they would never come out. No, that's impossible. Who has the ability to kill the 4 extraordinary geniuses? Devil Hand Sect leader didn't believe it. Miss Ouyang, do you know what happened in the barrier? Suppressing the anger in her heart, Devil Hand Sect leader looked at Ouyang Luoshua. Out of all the world lords here, only Ouyang Luoshua had the qualifications to be compared to the 4 experts. Many things happened, but I don't know anything about the 4 of them. Ouyang Luoshua thought for a moment and said slowly. The 4 powers looked at each other, their hearts filled with anger. It's the Skyheart Realm Lord. That's right. It's very likely that this was done by the Skyheart Realm Lord. On the plaza, there were a few sector lords who were pointing at Fang Chen with resentment. At the Barrier Mountain, the Skyheart Realm Lord killed many world lords by himself. At that time, his battle strength had already reached the transcendent realm. Many of us sector lords died at his hands. These world lords had the backing of a power and wanted to take revenge on Fang Chen. Transcendent realm? The 5 kings of Realm City were surprised to hear this. Skyheart Realm Lord? An ant from the eastern region? Devil Hand Sect leader said coldly. Were the 4 of them killed by you? Facing the pressure of Devil Hand Sect leader, Fang Chen frowned and was unhappy. No. Chapter 3195. Sector Lord Skyheart, you killed a disciple of my sect, how will you explain this? Some of the smaller sects were pressuring Fang Chen step by step. Inside the spirit barrier, although you will do anything to achieve your goals, but no matter what, we are still fellow humans. How can you be so crazy as to kill innocent people? What are your intentions? Facing the attacks of the smaller factions, as well as the 4 major factions looking down on him, Fang Chen was very calm. He stepped forward and looked towards the plaza. The corpse demon sneaked into the spirit barrier, wanting to destroy all of the human sector lords. When I was fighting against the corpse demon, where were they? Fang Chen's voice was slightly loud, but he didn't stop. He continued, When I destroyed the corpse demon's plan, not only did they not thank me, they even questioned my inheritance. To force me to hand over the inheritance, they teamed up and surrounded me on the Spirit Barrier Mountain. Now that they are dead, you want me to give you an explanation? What a joke. Fang Chen looked around, his gaze fearless. They deserve to die. Fang Chen's voice was resolute. Corpse demon? The faces of the 5 kings of Realm Capital changed drastically when they heard this. What happened? Tell us in detail. Facing the 5 kings' questions, Fang Chen told them everything about his encounter with the corpse demon and the battle with the corpse demon. After hearing what had happened, the faces of the 5 kings of World Capital turned even darker. The corpse demon sneaking into the spirit barrier was their responsibility. But as fellow humans, they didn't know how to unite against an external enemy. Instead they schemed against each other and surrounded Fang Chen. You should know better than anyone what the corpse demon means, right? The grey-robed old man coldly said, while the Sky-Heart Realm Lord was fighting against the corpse demon, the disciples of your sect actually joined forces to encircle him. Just this point alone is enough for them to die 10 times over. If it wasn't for the fact that the Sky-Heart Realm Lord is so powerful, the one who would die would be him. If this is really the case, do you all have to bear the responsibility for this? None of the small sect members dared to say anything after being reprimanded by the grey-robed elder. However, in their hearts, they hated Fang Chen even more. It's just a one-sided statement. What evidence do you have? The elder of Shinshan School said coldly. That's right. The words of one party alone are not enough to convince the masses. The 10,000 Poisons sect master echoed. The leaders of the 4 forces glared at Fang Chen like a tiger watching its prey. Meanwhile, Ouyang Luoxue took a step forward, and her slender hand held the bangs on her forehead before she said in a light voice, I testify in the name of the Ouyang clan that everything the World Lord said is true. Boom. There was an uproar in the square of Realm City. Those sector lords who had escaped from Fang Chen's hands all lowered their heads. Many small sects also kept their mouths shut. Suppress Fang Chen? What kind of joke was this? Ouyang Luoxue testified in the name of the Ouyang clan. This was enough to prove that Fang Chen's words were true. They were in the wrong in this matter. If they continued to argue, the 5 kings of Realm City wouldn't stand by and do nothing. Hence, they could only admit defeat while cursing Fang Chen in their hearts. The Ouyang clan was the strongest force in Realm City. Even the top forces like Shinshan School, Black Wolf Mountain, and 10,000 Poisons sect couldn't be compared to the Ouyang clan. Ouyang Luoxue, as the daughter of the Ouyang clan, was a genius. If she testified in the name of the Ouyang clan, who would dare to doubt her? The Sky-Heart Realm Lord has done well in resisting the demon. I announce that from today onwards, he will be a VIP of Realm City. The Realm City Lord smiled and said. Hearing this, the people of the 4 major powers couldn't do anything. I will definitely investigate the death of the Merciless Hands Realm Lord. If I find out that he died at the hands of others, the 10,000 Poisons sect won't let the culprit go. The 10,000 Poisons sect leader left these words and turned to leave. The Devil Hand sect, Black Wolf Mountain, and the other major powers also left. When the 2 elders of Shinshan School were about to leave, a voice entered their ears. Their bodies paused for a moment and then disappeared. Come with us. If Miss Ouyang isn't in a hurry to return, you can come to the City Lord Manor. The Realm City Lord said. No, I still have matters to attend to and need to return to my clan. After speaking, Ouyang Luoxue turned and looked at Fang Chen. This is my communication jade pendant. If you need it, just ask. Fang Chen nodded and watched as Ouyang Luoxue left. In a short while, all the major powers left Realm City. The Realm Lord Conference had completely come to an end. The most talked about topic was the Sky-Heart Realm Lord. The news quickly spread throughout the territory of World City. Countless martial artists were shocked by the news. Especially when someone found out that the Sky-Heart Realm Lord was only a minor tribulation supremacy before entering the barrier, it caused a huge uproar. This made many people believe that the Sky-Heart Realm Lord must have obtained a powerful inheritance within the barrier. Otherwise, it would be impossible for him to reach the transcendent realm. However, in the next few days, An even more shocking piece of news spread throughout world capital. When this news spread, countless factions were shocked. He had reached the transcendent realm in one step. It was rumored that after the Skyheart Realm Lord became a Grand Tribulation supremacy, he passed the 9 disasters and reached the transcendent realm in one step. Combined with the battle at Boundary Mountain, many people chose to believe it. Realm City, City Lord Manor. Despite the commotion in the outside world, it was extremely quiet here. In an elegant garden, Fang Chen sat on a stone bench and enjoyed the beautiful time. Deng deng deng. The 5 kings of Realm City walked into the garden and sat on stone benches. Junior greets the 5 seniors. Fang Chen cupped his fists in greeting. No need to be so polite, have a seat. The Realm City Lord smiled. You must have heard about what happened outside. The grey-robed elder asked. Achem. You reached the transcendent realm in one step? The 5 kings looked at Fang Chen with burning eyes, waiting for his reply. Fang Chen nodded. That's right, I did reach the transcendent realm in one step. He didn't hide anything from the 5 kings. This was because he felt the aura of a bloodline king from the Realm City Lord. Amazing. The 5 kings of Realm Capital all gave Fang Chen a thumbs up. It's been a long time since a prodigy reached the transcendent realm in one step during the Age of Chaos. The Realm City Lord sighed. The last time such a prodigy appeared was 1,000,000 years ago. The Lin family's Lin Qian and the Jiyu family's Jiyu Tianhua, these 2 prodigies are publicly recognized as the strongest prodigies in the ancient chaos. They've been breaking records all the way up. Now, they've reached a terrifying level. In the future, it's very likely that they'll become rulers. The Realm City Lord continued, for 1,000,000 years, there hasn't been a prodigy who reached the transcendent realm in one step since Lin Qian and Jiyu Tianhua. I didn't expect that we'd witness the birth of such a prodigy at this Realm Lord conference. The 5 kings weren't stingy with their praise for Fang Chen. After learning the details of the situation inside the boundary, they praised Fang Chen even more. In their eyes, Fang Chen's potential was even greater than Lin Qian and Jiyu Tianhua's. Seniors, the boundary is under your control. How did the corpse demon sneak in? Fang Chen was a bit confused. Was the corpse demon's methods already so powerful? Hearing this, the 5 kings' expressions grew serious. The corpse demon's strength is much stronger than we imagined. Even though the corpse demon suffered heavy losses in the ancient battle of gods and was almost destroyed, the corpse demon has risen from the ashes after countless years. The Realm City Lord said, their vitality is too tenacious, and they have many tricks up their sleeves. They are very secretive. Even if an unparalleled expert were to act, they might not be able to completely eradicate them. The corpse demon must have paid a great price to sneak into the boundary. It's the 5 of us who didn't manage the boundary well. The Realm City Lord continued, I've ordered all forces within the Realm City to conduct a large-scale search. If they find anything that looks like the corpse demon, they're to report it immediately. Fang Chen nodded. After fighting the corpse demon so many times, he was indeed very impressed. The corpse demon had many tricks up its sleeves. Its vitality was also extremely tenacious. It would be difficult to completely destroy it. However, the ancient chaos is now the world of the human race. The upper echelons of the human race are also paying close attention to its movements. Once they discover it, they'll immediately act to destroy it. The corpse demon also doesn't dare to act openly. It only dares to scheme in secret. Chapter 3196. The monstrous potential that Fang Chen had displayed had successfully gained the recognition of the 5 kings of Realm City. Actually, after the Realm City Lord knew of Fang Chen's strength, he had secretly tested him. He gently placed his palm on the stone table. Coincidentally, Fang Chen's body came into contact with the stone table. A silent power passed through the stone table and drilled into Fang Chen's body. However, the latter's expression didn't change, as if nothing had happened. Seeing this, the Realm City Lord was even more convinced that Fang Chen's strength wasn't a normal transcendent world lord, but a peak transcendent world lord. He even vaguely suspected that the 4 great powers genius world lords were also killed by Fang Chen. Of course, this didn't mean anything to him. Next, It was time to give Fang Chen his reward. You will be first in this year's Realm Lord Conference. The Realm City Lord stood up and smiled at Fang Chen. I obtained this blood essence by accident, I'll give it to you. Fang Chen hesitated. The Realm City Lord said, take it, you deserve it. Soon after, Fang Chen nodded and put the blood essence into his bag. Wang. A terrifying power instantly drilled into his body. Many special bloodlines were in chaos at this moment. Fang Chen hurriedly used his black hole bloodline to suppress it. Sigh. A moment later, they managed to suppress these external forces without any mishap. Fang Chen looked at the blood essence in shock, then looked at the Realm City Lord with a burning gaze. City Lord, Fang Chen opened his mouth, wanting to ask, but was stopped by the Realm City Lord with a wave of his hand. Although I've never seen the Bloodline King, I've received the help of the mark he left behind. This blood essence was obtained from the mark. As a candidate for Bloodline King, you can consider it as returning it to its rightful owner. The Realm City Lord transmitted his voice. Fang Chen put away the blood essence without batting an eyelid. He was rather surprised. Thank you, City Lord. Fang Chen cupped his fists in thanks. All right, you just came back from the barrier, you must be tired, you need to rest. The 5 kings watched as Fang Chen left. In the garden, the 5 kings looked at each other. City Lord, how do you feel? The grey-robed elder asked. The other 3 also looked at the City Lord, waiting for him to speak. After a while, the Realm City Lord said, this kid's potential is heaven's defying, #1 in history. He's worth investing in. All right, I'll go take care of it. The grey-robed elder nodded heavily. Night covered the land, the stars. Near the Realm City Plaza, there was an elegant courtyard. This courtyard was given to Fang Chen by the Realm City Lord. At this moment, Fang Chen was sitting on a stone bench in the courtyard. His pitch-black eyes were looking at the sky with interest. Deng 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 deng. Suddenly, footsteps came from the void. Fang Chen did not even turn his head as he said, you're here? Whoosh. The void tore and 2 elders of the Shinshan school walked out. Kid, do you really know the whereabouts of the Realm Lord? One of the elders asked in a deep voice. If you tell us the whereabouts of the Realm Lord, the Shinshan school will reward you greatly. Fang Chen could tell from the words of the 2 elders that the Shinshan school really valued the Realm Lord. This way, he was relieved. With the Realm Lord as a bargaining chip, he should be able to exchange for Princess Xin. I do know where the Realm Lord is. Fang Chen nodded. Say it quickly. I have a condition. Fang Chen looked at the 2 elders with a smile. What condition? I have a good friend who used to cultivate in the Sky Heart realm in the eastern region, but he was forcefully taken to the northern region by the messenger of the Shinshan school. Now, I want to take my friend away. I wonder if the 2 elders can promise me? Fang Chen shrugged. You mean? The 2 elders' faces changed. One of them said, we can't agree to this condition. Why? Don't you want to know the whereabouts of the Realm Lord? Fang Chen frowned. He had a bad premonition. That girl was accepted as a disciple by the vice-sect leader of the Shinshan school. We don't have the right to take her away. The 2 elders said. What if I use the life of the Realm Lord in exchange? Fang Chen's face darkened. Huh. The 2 elders emitted a strong aura, suppressing Fang Chen. To tell you the truth, the Realm Lord is in my hands. The only condition is Princess Xin. Fang Chen said coldly, if I don't see Princess Xin in 7 days, the Realm Lord will die. After saying that, Fang Chen flung his sleeve and returned to the pavilion. The 2 elders of the Shinshan school looked at each other. Their faces were gloomy. This was the realm capital and Fang Chen was a VIP. They didn't dare to make a move. If they did, the 5 kings would notice and it would be hard to explain. Thinking of this, one of the elders gritted his teeth and said, how can you prove that the Realm Lord is in your hands? Do I have to joke with you? Fang Chen shrugged, anyway, I've already told you the condition. As for whether you want to use Princess Xin in exchange, that's your business. The 2 elders snorted and left the realm capital in a flash. Remember, you only have 7 days. Fang Chen's voice dissipated in the void. In the dark cave mountain, Little Mouse and the other four had completely integrated with the pure-blooded beast cubs. They often discussed and learned from each other. As for Little Flame, he was still studying the flaming battle blade and improving his understanding of fire. Fang Shi, Kang Ju, and Tian Xin were also working hard to cultivate. Not far away, the Realm Lord was in a sorry state. His strength was sealed. He stared fiercely at Fang Chen, wanting to tear him into pieces. I've already told the Shinshan school about your news. I just don't know what your status is in the Shinshan school. Will they use Princess Xin in exchange? Fang Chen looked at the Realm Lord with ridicule. Despicable guy, the Shinshan school won't let you go. The Realm Lord said fiercely, there has never been a Realm Lord who dares to threaten the Shinshan school. You will regret it. At this point, the Realm Lord still used the Shinshan school to threaten Fang Chen. This made the latter very unhappy. Bang! Fang Chen slapped the Realm Lord and sent him flying. The latter's body fell heavily on the ground and he cried out in pain. You, the Realm Lord gritted his teeth. His eyes were scarlet red and he was furious. 7 days later, if they don't come to exchange, then I can only kill you personally. Fang Chen's eyes were filled with killing intent. Shinshan school. What? The Realm Lord was captured. A white-robed elder said angrily. Beside him, the two elders lowered their heads. That Realm Lord came from the eastern region's Skyheart realm. He's the new Skyheart Realm Lord. He's good friends with Princess Xin and wants to use the Realm Lord to exchange. Bang! The white-robed elder was furious. A mere Realm Lord dares to threaten the Shinshan school. He's really looking for death. Why didn't the two of you capture him and bring him to the Shinshan school? Vice Sect Leader, if he's just an ordinary transcendent Realm Lord, the two of us wouldn't be afraid. He got first place in the Realm Lord Conference and received the protection of the 5 kings. He even became a VIP, honored guest of World Capital. Interesting. The Vice Sect Leader's eyes were filled with killing intent. Since he dares to have designs on my disciple, he should be prepared to die. I want to see how capable he is to threaten the Shinshan school. Creak. The meeting hall's door opened and 2 disciples supported a girl as they walked in. Bang. The girl was injured and had no strength left. She couldn't stand properly and fell to the ground. Upon closer inspection, her face was pale and her clothes were tattered. She had been tortured all these years. Have you thought it through? The Vice Sect Leader looked down at the girl. The girl was silent. Tears welled up in her eyes but she was strong and didn't cry. PH, how many people in the sect covet your beauty and want to dual cultivate with you? If it wasn't for my protection, you would have lost your chastity. But now, you're rejecting my requests. The Vice Sect Leader said angrily. Hypocrite. The girl said with difficulty, if I didn't have the ancient heaven's heart, would you treat me like this? The girl knew better than anyone that the Vice Sect Leader was a person who would do anything to achieve his goals. All these years, he had been pressuring her to give up the ancient heaven's heart. If it wasn't for that, she would have become his prey. You don't know what's good for you. Chapter 3197. 7 days passed in the blink of an eye. As for Fang Chen, his heart had not been calm for the past few days. He was very worried about Princess Xin's safety, but this kind of thing could not be rushed. After all, he was facing a powerful force, the Shinshan school. If he was not careful, he would be destroyed. In the elegant courtyard, Fang Chen walked back and forth. According to the agreement, today was the last day. He was afraid that the Shinshan school would not agree to his conditions. Once that happened, Princess Xin would be in danger. Boss, what do you think? Swoosh. In the courtyard, a few little guys suddenly appeared. Little Mouse asked with a serious face. If the Shinshan school doesn't know what's good for them, let Brother Mouse dig a hole and turn the Shinshan school upside down, Xiao Huang said. Hearing this, Fang Chen's eyes flashed. Suddenly, a wonderful idea appeared in his mind. Whoosh, whoosh. At this moment, ripples appeared in the void. Then, the Shinshan school elder who had passed the message arrived. Domain Lord Tian Xin. The Shinshan school elder's face was a little gloomy. He did not hide the strong killing intent in his eyes. The higher-ups of the Shinshin school agree to your conditions, but the place of the transaction has to be outside the border city, the Shinshin school elder said. Otherwise, there is no need for the transaction. Whoosh. After leaving these words, the Shinshin school elder turned and left. In an instant, he was outside the border city. Boss, you can't. Little Mouse stopped him. The Shinshin school has chosen the place of the transaction outside the border city. They must want to take action against you. That's right. Boss is the VIP of the border city. In the city, there are the 5 kings of the border city. The Shinshin school will not dare to act recklessly. Once you leave the border city, your life will be in danger. They were all trying to dissuade him, but Fang Chen shook his head. He left the courtyard resolutely and rushed towards the city gate. Outside the realm city was an endless wasteland. After Fang Chen came out, he saw the people from Shinshin school from afar. This time, there were 3 elders from Shinshin school. Fang Chen had seen 2 of them before. As for the third person, he exuded a frightening power. World King Realm. Fang Chen thought to himself. Even in Shinshin school, a World King powerhouse was considered an absolute upper echelon. It seemed that the Blazing Heart Realm Lord was very important to the Shinshin school. This way, Fang Chen was even more confident that he could exchange the Blazeheart Realm Lord for Princess Xin. You are the Heaven Heart Realm Lord. The World King powerhouse in the lead looked down at Fang Chen, his eyes filled with ridicule. Barbarians from the eastern region? Whoosh. The World King powerhouse flicked his robes and taunted, a mere transcendent world lord dares to threaten my Shinshin school? Did you bring the person? Fang Chen ignored the World King's taunts and directly asked. We must first determine whether or not the Blazeheart Realm Lord is still alive. An elder said. Voila. Fang Chen's thoughts stirred and the Blazeheart Realm Lord appeared beside him. At this time, the Blazeheart Realm Lord's face was pale and there wasn't a trace of strength left in his body. It was clear that his strength had been sealed away. Voila. Fang Chen had always been on guard against the Shinshin school. However, he had still underestimated how shameless the Shinshin school was. The moment the World King powerhouse saw the Blazeheart Realm Lord, he immediately attacked. He stretched out his hand, sealing the entire sky. His energy enveloped the Blazeheart Realm Lord, wanting to use his fastest speed to save the Blazeheart Realm Lord. Go in. Fang Chen was enraged. He stimulated the Great Rock Movement technique and rapidly dodged the World King powerhouse's attack. Then, with a thought, he sent the Blazeheart Realm Lord into Dark Cave Mountain. At the same time, Little Mouse and the others were also sent into Dark Cave Mountain by Fang Chen to prevent any accidents from occurring. Dong. Fang Chen's mortal body strength was completely stimulated. Sword energy crisscrossed around him. Shinshin school. Fang Chen's pitch-black eyes glared at the World King powerhouse. This is your sincerity. Humph, hurry up and hand over the Blazeheart Realm Lord. Otherwise, I will have you die without a grave. The World King powerhouse sneered, anyone who dares to threaten my Shinshin school must die. Bang. The World King realm was above the World Lord realm. They were true supreme elders. Every World King powerhouse could cause the heavens and earth to change colors with a raise of their hand, causing mountains to collapse and the earth to crack. At this time, the Shinshin school's World King powerhouse's figure flashed. Wherever he went, the void shattered. His large hand suddenly pressed down, and a terrifying power whizzed out, directly enveloping Fang Chen. Die. The World King powerhouse roared out loud. He used his strongest strength to rumble towards Fang Chen. Rip. However, he had underestimated Fang Chen's methods. Using the Great Rock Movement technique, Fang Chen's figure flickered in and out of existence, as if he had fused with the world. Even a World King powerhouse was unable to track him. Rumble, rumble, rumble. The World King powerhouse's attacks constantly missed. Cracks appeared in the void. However, Fang Chen used the mysteries of the Great Rock Movement technique to pass through the blockade and retreat into World City. Shinshin school, I will remember this. Fang Chen clenched his fists, killing intent surging in his heart. Bang! The World King powerhouse's aura surged. With a stomp of his foot, the entire earth trembled. Die! His figure flashed, hurtling towards Fang Chen. However, as he approached World City, a powerful pressure covered the earth. Then, the 5 kings of World City appeared at the same time. Dong. The World City Lord waved his hand, dissolving the Shinshin School World King Powerhouse's attack. Shinshin School's people, why are you attacking my World City? The World City Lord said, his face expressionless. World Lord Skyheart is an honored guest of my World City. No matter what grudges you have between you, please stop here. The other 4 kings also expressed their stance. Damn it. The Shinshin School World King Powerhouse clenched his fists. His eyes were blood red, his anger soaring to the heavens. But in the end, he forcefully suppressed his anger. The 5 kings of World City were unfathomably deep and extremely strong. In front of them, he could only be considered a rising star. Without absolute confidence, he didn't dare to attack. Kid, I'd like to see if you'll always hide in World City. With a flick of his sleeve, the Shinshin School World King Powerhouse retreated. Whoosh whoosh whoosh. In the void, the vast power gradually dissipated. After the 3 from Shinshin School left, the 5 kings of World City looked at Fang Chen. Does Shinshin School suspect that you killed the World Lord Skyheart? Otherwise, why would they attack you? The 5 kings of World City asked, puzzled. Fang Chen shook his head. One of my friends was kidnapped by the emissaries of Shinshin School when he was in the Skyheart realm in the eastern region. Now, I've suppressed the World Lord Skyheart and want to exchange with Shinshin School. I didn't expect Shinshin School to be so despicable. After knowing the ins and outs of the matter, the 5 kings of World City looked at each other. Sure enough, their guess was correct. Those geniuses who had stepped into the Transcendence realm were most likely killed by Fang Chen. The World Lord Skyheart is the hope of Shinshin School's future. Shinshin School values him very much. Now that you've captured him, Shinshin School will definitely not let you go. The Lord of World City said, however, you're a distinguished guest of World City. As long as you don't leave World City, Shinshin School won't dare to mess around. Thank you, City Lord. Fang Chen cupped his fists and thanked him. If it weren't for the protection of the 5 kings of World City, how could he fight against Shinshin School? However, after this incident, he was completely disappointed in Shinshin School. Well, you can go back and rest, the 5 kings of World City said. Fang Chen said goodbye to the 5 kings of World City and returned to the elegant courtyard. Boss. Those guys' faces were full of anger. Damn Shinshin School. They went back on their words. How despicable. Now we've completely fallen out with Shinshin School. What should we do next? Will Shinshin School take action against Princess Shin because of this incident? Fang Chen was silent and entered Immortal Cave Mountain. Catcher. He slapped out and the World Lord Skyheart's body was directly sent flying. He fell heavily on the ground and spat out blood. You'll regret it. The power of Shinshin School is not something you can imagine. The World Lord Skyheart said coldly, let me go now and Shinshin School can pretend that nothing happened. Otherwise, the next person who comes to suppress you won't be a World King but the Sect Master himself. Ha ha. Fang Chen smiled and looked at the World Lord Skyheart mockingly. Unfortunately, you'll never see that scene. While speaking, Fang Chen slowly walked towards the World Lord Skyheart. Chapter 3198. He was the pride of his generation, the future of Shinshin School, and the most monstrous transcendent World Lord, Blazeheart Realm Lord. From the very beginning, he had been shining brightly in Shinshin School. Shinshin School saw him as their hope and used all their resources to nurture him. And he didn't disappoint. His growth was very dazzling. He completely trampled all the other geniuses under his feet, not giving them any chance to breathe. Everyone in Shinshin School, from the ordinary disciples to the sect master, thought that it was only a matter of time before Blazeheart Realm Lord stepped into the World King realm or even higher. It was even possible that he could become the Overlord one day in the future. However, such a monstrous genius participated in the World Lord meeting and entered the enchantment. Everywhere he went, monsters would circle around him and human martial artists would be afraid of him. He had also successfully stepped into the Transcendent Realm. Unfortunately, when he wanted to kill Fang Chen, he was suppressed by the latter. Now, Shinshan School's despicable actions had thoroughly angered Fang Chen. Looking at Blazeheart Realm Lord who was in a coma, Fang Chen's face was very gloomy. "I'll let you live for a few more days." After saying that, Fang Chen turned around and sat down on a stone bench. "Boss, have you decided?" Little Mouse asked. Xiao Huang, Pangolin, Xiao Hai, the old faker, the pure-blooded beast cub, Kang Ju, Tian Xin, and Fang Shi all looked at Fang Chen, waiting for him to make a decision. "We can't hesitate any longer. Reprimand is causing trouble." "That's right. Shinshan School didn't save Blazeheart Realm Lord. It's very likely that they will vent their anger on Princess Xin." After a long time, Fang Chen raised his head and a sharp light shot out from his eyes. "How confident are you?" Fang Chen looked at Little Mouse and asked in a low voice. Little Mouse grinned and said confidently, "I don't care about anything else, but if it's just digging a hole, I'm 100% confident." Ever since the little mouse had awakened its innate ability, its attack power had reached an unimaginable level. The power of its claws was even more terrifying. He could dig from Tianshu Yuan in the southern region all the way to the northern region, and even dig through the ancient road of time and space. From this, one could tell how frightening their abilities were. He had no choice but to make this decision. After all, Princess Xin couldn't be imprisoned in the Shinshan School forever, and Fang Chen wasn't strong enough to save her by himself. Therefore, he could only pin his hopes on the little mouse. "Boss, don't worry. Brother Rat can even dig through the ancient road of time and space. A mere Shinshan School is nothing." "That's right. Since they dared to provoke us, Brother Shu will turn the Shinshan School upside down." Xiao Huang and the others also expressed their opinions. In the end, after careful discussion, Fang Chen made a decision. After a long while, they discussed the details. First, they would let Little Mouse dig a hole. When they reached the bottom of the Shinshan School, Fang Chen would sneak into the Shinshan School, rescue Princess Xin as quickly as possible, and then quickly return. During this process, the most dangerous thing was to be discovered by the Shinshan School. After all, the Shinshan School was guarded by the Shinshan School's headmaster. Once they were discovered, their lives would be in danger. At night, the stars twinkled in the dark night sky. The elegant courtyard was suddenly enveloped by a powerful sealing force. Immediately, Fang Chen and Little Mouse appeared side by side. "I've completely sealed off this place. No one can come in except for the 5 kings of the realm capital." Fang Chen muttered. Even if the 5 kings of the realm capital found out, they wouldn't say anything. Otherwise, they wouldn't have protected him in front of the Shinshan School's king realm powerhouses. Rip. A powerful purple aura spread around Little Mouse's body and then quickly gathered on his claws. His sharp claws quickly dug into the ground. In the blink of an eye, he dug out a dark tunnel. "Boss, let's go." Little Mouse stuck his head out of the dark tunnel and said. For the rest of the time, the little mouse continued to dig its way underground. At the same time, something happened in the Shinshan School. The Shinshan School was filled with smoke, and the atmosphere was very solemn. In the meeting hall, the vice-sect master sat on the throne with a gloomy face. Below him, there were several elders. One of them was the King Realm powerhouse who attacked Fang Chen before. "Elder Xinhe, tell me," the vice-sect master calmly asked. "Vice-sect master, the strength of the Skyheart World Lord is much stronger than we imagined." Elder Xinhe said, "Although he is a transcendent world lord, his overall combat strength is comparable to an early world King Realm martial artist." Moreover what?" the vice-sect master asked. "He has a movement technique that is incomparably fast. Even my divine sense can't capture his figure. This is also the reason why we failed this time," Elder Xinhe truthfully said. "Movement technique? Incomparably strange?" The vice-sect master frowned. What kind of movement technique was it that even a World King Realm powerhouse couldn't capture? Moreover, the person who used it was only a world lord. His movement technique is extremely mysterious. I can't see through it. Elder Xinhe was helpless. As a World King Realm powerhouse, he couldn't see through a movement technique. In the meeting hall, the other elders looked at each other. According to what Elder Xinhe said, if he hides in the realm capital, we can't do anything to him. Moreover, even if he leaves the realm capital for a short time, it will be difficult for us to kill him." For a time, the meeting hall fell into chaos. All the elders were discussing. World Lord Blazeheart was a monstrous genius of the Shinshin school. They had to save him no matter the cost. After a long time, the vice-sect master stood up. "I will make a trip to the realm capital." He wanted to know the attitude of the 5 kings of the realm capital. If they insisted on protecting Fang Chen, then this matter would be difficult to handle. Half a month later. Underground, in a pitch-black tunnel, Little Mouse's claws carried a thick purple aura as it constantly dug at the soil in front of it. "Who?" Suddenly, Little Mouse stopped digging and sat down in the tunnel. Its forehead was covered in sweat and it was panting. "Rest for a while," Fang Chen said. "Soon. According to my estimation, we should be able to dig to the bottom of the Shinshin school in 3 days," Little Mouse said. After resting for a while, it continued to dig. After another 3 days, Little Mouse's digging speed suddenly slowed down a lot. "What's wrong?" Fang Chen asked. "Boss, we have arrived at the Shinshin school's territory," Little Mouse said. "Shinshin school is surrounded by the protective mountain array. The array is rooted in the soil and blocks our path. If I force it, it is very likely to cause a change in the protective mountain array and alarm the people of the Shinshin school. Let me do it." Fang Chen's attainments in the Tao of Array were also very high. A mere protective mountain array of the Shinshin school was not a problem for him. Buzz. Fang Chen placed his palm on the void pattern. After a while, he suddenly opened his eyes. "If you want me to break the array with all my strength, it will be a bit difficult. But if it's just a gap, there is no problem." After that, he took out the sky sealing tablet and activated the powerful sealing power inside to tear the protective mountain array. After a while, a small gap appeared on the protective mountain array. "Let's go." Fang Chen and Little Mouse's figures flashed, passed through the gap, and entered the Shinshin school. Crack, crack. Next, Little Mouse continued to dig, and its speed was obviously much faster. After a quarter of an hour, Little Mouse began to dig upward. At this time, he was obviously more cautious. This was the Shinshin school's territory. The slightest carelessness could lead to him being discovered. Fang Chen's divine sense quietly spread out and swept through the Shinshin school. In an instant, he found the place where Princess Xin was imprisoned. Damn it! The moment he saw Princess Xin, Fang Chen clenched his fists and burned with anger. "Wait for me here." When he was about to dig to the ground, Fang Chen suppressed his anger and said to Little Mouse. Then he used the rock body movement and merged into the void. Thump, thump. In the void, Fang Chen moved quickly and soon arrived in front of a pavilion. This pavilion was sealed on all sides. Princess Xin, who was in a sorry state, was trapped inside. At this time, Princess Xin's complexion was very poor, and there were many wounds on her body. However, she was very strong. "I can't die. I still have a lot of things to do," Princess Xin said to herself. "He will definitely come to save me. He won't let me down," she muttered, and a familiar scene appeared in her mind. Then the corners of her mouth curled up, and she smiled faintly. Chapter 3199. Xin O. Suddenly, a familiar voice echoed in Princess Xin's mind. Her body suddenly shook, and she hurriedly raised her head and looked around. However, she found nothing. However, tears welled up in her eyes, and she sobbed. "Is that you?" She shook her head hard. She was afraid that this was an illusion and that her dream would be shattered. "I'm here to save you." Fang Chen transmitted his voice again. Princess Xin's body trembled, and all the emotions that she had accumulated for many years burst out. "Don't resist." Fang Chen used his mind to open Mount Dongming, and it directly enveloped Princess Xin's body and sucked her in. Buzz. However, what Fang Chen didn't expect was that there was also a restriction in Princess Xin's body. When she entered Mount Dongming, the restriction in her body made a harsh sound, which instantly alarmed the entire Shinshin school. In the meeting hall. "Oh no, there's an enemy attack." Many elders rushed to the place where Princess Xin was imprisoned as fast as they could. However, when they arrived, Princess Xin was already gone. Search thoroughly. Their faces were extremely gloomy. Once Princess Xin was kidnapped, the vice sect leader would definitely be furious. Find the murderer even if you have to dig 3 feet into the ground. An elder roared angrily. The entire Shinshan school was in chaos. However, Fang Chen and the little mouse had already quickly returned to the passage and rushed underground. After a while, they crossed the mountain guarding array of the Shinshan school. Shinshan school. Fang Chen clenched his fists and looked at the mountain guarding array with cold eyes. When he thought of Princess Xin being imprisoned and tortured like this, the anger in his heart erupted like a volcano. Seal the world. He fully activated the power of the sky-sealing tombstone. A violent sealing power was released from the sky-sealing tombstone. Like a flood, it rushed to the mountain guarding array of the Shinshan school. With a cracking sound, the mountain guarding array was destroyed in the blink of an eye. Without the mountain protecting formation, the Shinshan school trembled, and the ground and the mountains shook. At this moment, Fang Chen clenched his fists and punched out dozens of times in a row. The might of each punch was sufficient to instantly kill a world overlord. The power of dozens of punches superimposed, and the power soared to the extreme. They heavily bombarded the underground of the Shinshan school. Boom! The Shinshan school was shaking, and the whole ground was collapsing as if it was about to be destroyed. Let's go. Fang Chen knew that he couldn't stay here any longer. Otherwise, he would provoke the powerful masters of the Shinshan school, and he wouldn't be able to leave. Shinshan school. Countless experts were filled with rage. The Grand Mountain Protection Formation has been shattered. Underground, the soil has been heavily damaged. The enemy seems to want to completely destroy the Shinshan school. Amidst the chaos, countless powerhouses attacked with all their might to protect the Shinshan school. It took a total of 3 days for the damaged soil to be rewatered, and the Grand Mountain Protection Formation was repaired. The Shinshan school quieted down, and the atmosphere was oppressive. It was terrifying. Many elders had gloomy expressions as they waited for the vice sect leader to return. No matter who it is, if he dares to attack the Shinshan school, we must destroy his soul. That's right. This person is most likely the Skyheart Realm Overlord. Not only did he kidnap her, but he also destroyed the foundation of the Shinshan school. He is courting death. Many elders gritted their teeth as they spoke. When the news reached the world capital, Fang Chen had already returned to his elegant courtyard. Wang. With a wave of his hand, he removed the seal, and the courtyard returned to normal. In Dongming Mountain, Princess Xin, whose clothes were slightly tattered, rushed into Fang Chen's arms. Her heart couldn't calm down for a long time. Fang Chen raised his hand and gently wiped the tears off Princess Xin's fair face. It's okay. Everything is fine. Fang Chen comforted Princess Xin. Princess Xin cried tears of joy as she hugged Fang Chen tightly. She was afraid that this was an illusion. After a long time, Princess Xin's emotions gradually calmed down. It's been hard on you all these years. Fang Chen looked at Princess Xin's face and couldn't help but ask. I'm very happy that you came to save me. I'm very excited. Princess Xin revealed a bright smile. All these years, I've imagined countless ways to escape, but I didn't dare to think that you would come to save me. I went to the eastern region and found Qing Qing. I learned about your situation from her, so I came to save you. It's a pity that I'm too weak. It took me a long time to save you. Fang Chen's palm pressed against Princess Xin's body. A vast amount of energy flowed into her body endlessly. After a short while, Princess Xin's face became rosier. Fang Chen carefully checked her body. Princess Xin's injuries were all superficial and would heal quickly. Moreover, he also removed the seal in her body. While chatting with Princess Xin, Fang Chen learned that the reason why the Vice Sect Master didn't do anything to her in the past 100 years was because she had the Heavenly Heart Dragon Flame. The Vice Sect Master coveted my Heavenly Heart Dragon Flame and forced me to hand it over. I would rather die than submit, said Princess Xin. The Heavenly Heart Dragon Flame was a famous heavenly heart. Once it was fully awakened, the path of heart cultivation would be smooth. The Vice Sect Master wanted it very much, but he knew that unless Princess Xin took the initiative to hand it over, the Heavenly Heart Dragon Flame would shatter. In order to obtain the heavenly heart dragon flame, the vice sect master used both hard and soft methods. Of course, it was also because of Princess Shin's stubbornness that she was able to survive until now. You! The dying Blazeheart Realm Lord widened his eyes when he saw Princess Shin. How is this possible? He couldn't believe the scene before him. Princess Shin was taken in as a disciple by the vice sect master and had been imprisoned in the Shinshin school. Why would she appear here? Could it be that the Skyheart Realm Lord barged into the Shinshin school alone and saved her? Fang Chen turned his head and glanced at the Blazeheart Realm Lord. A trace of cold killing intent flashed across his eyes. The people of the Shinshin school are actually so cruel to a weak girl for their own selfish reasons. After speaking, the little mouse and the pure-blooded beast cubs surrounded the Blazeheart Realm Lord. What are you guys doing? The Blazeheart Realm Lord said in fear. The few of them turned into their true forms and opened their bloody mouths, biting the Blazeheart Realm Lord to death. In the blink of an eye, the Blazeheart Realm Lord's body was devoured, leaving only his head behind. Shinshin School, I will make you regret it for the rest of your life for treating Shinna like this. World City, City Lord Manor. Everyone, the Skyheart Realm Lord and the Shinshin School have an irreconcilable grudge. I hope that everyone can give face to the Shinshin School and not interfere in this matter. The vice sect master of the Shinshin School smiled at the five of them. The Lord of the World City was silent. The other four kings spoke one after another. If the Shinshin School wants to kill someone, the World City naturally won't interfere. However, the Skyheart Realm Lord took first place in the World Lord Conference and became the VIP of the World City. If we can't even protect the VIP of the World City, how can the five of us establish ourselves in the World City in the future? That's right. We can compromise. As long as Fang Chen leaves the World City, we won't interfere in whatever you guys do. But as long as he is in the World City, the Shinshin School won't be able to do anything. This was the attitude of the five kings of the World City. So, there's no room for discussion. However, before the vice sect master finished speaking, his communication jade pendant suddenly rang. Then, his expression changed drastically. Bang! The vice sect master slammed his hand on the wooden table beside him, shattering it into pieces. The Skyheart Realm Lord barged into the Shinshin School, kidnapped a prisoner and destroyed the foundation of the Shinshin School. This is a capital offense. The vice sect master stood up abruptly. His dark eyes stared at the five kings of the World City. Today, I must bring the Skyheart Realm Lord back to the Shinshin School. I hope the five of you won't interfere. Otherwise, the Shinshin School won't mind starting a war with the World City. After speaking, the vice sect master's figure flashed. He flew in the air and flew towards where Fang Chen was. Presumptuous. The Lord of the World City scolded. He stomped his foot and blocked the vice sect master's path. This is the World City. Scram. The vice sect master roared and punched out, wanting to force the Lord of the World City to retreat. Catcher. However, the Lord of the World City easily blocked it and even forced the vice sect master to retreat. You. The vice sect master's expression changed. You took that step. The Lord of the World City stood in front of the vice sect master coldly. The vice sect master's expression changed. He thought for a moment and gritted his teeth. "Mph, your World City won't be able to protect him forever." Then, the vice sect master's gaze pierced through the void and looked at Fang Chen. Chapter 3200. The vice suzerain of Shinshin School was strong, but he was still afraid of the five kings of the Realm City. Especially the Lord of the Realm City, who was the strongest of the five kings. He had taken a crucial step. Even if they fought one-on-one, the vice suzerain of Shinshin School was not sure that he could win. Now that the five kings of the Realm City were protecting Fang Chen, there was nothing he could do. Let's go. The vice suzerain of Shinshin School left these words and then disappeared from the Realm City. Buzz. The biting cold aura in the air quickly dissipated. The five kings of the Realm City looked at Fang Chen from afar. What did you do? Why is the Shinshin School so angry? The Lord of the Realm City asked. Fang Chen truthfully told the five kings the details of how he destroyed the foundation of the Shinshin School and rescued Princess Shin. After the five kings heard this, they were silent. After a long time, the Lord of the Realm City said, "The Shinshin School has a deep foundation. Even the Realm City can't compare with it. Your action this time has humiliated the Shinshin School. They won't let it go. However, you don't have to worry too much. For the time being, you can cultivate in the Realm City. With the 5 of us here, the Shinshin School won't dare to step into the Realm City to deal with you," the Lord of the Realm City said slowly. Hearing this, Fang Chen clasped his hands and thanked him. He was quite touched. For him, the Lord of the Realm City didn't hesitate to go against the Shinshin School. If it were someone else, they wouldn't do this at all. What happened at the Shinshin School quickly spread throughout the territory. Countless warriors were shocked. At the same time, they were also asking about this guy called Realm Lord Tianxian. He was able to escape from the headquarters of the Shinshin School unscathed. In every corner, people were discussing the name of Realm Lord Tianxian. Fang Chen, on the other hand, had started to keep a low profile after the battle. In the northern region, there was a strange place very far away from the Realm City. Clouds were floating in the blue sky. Below him was a boundless grassland. As the wind blew, the grass and trees swayed. Above the clouds, there were more than 10 figures. One of them was enveloped in powerful flames. Even his eyebrows were formed by flames. What do you all think? The other person, who was surrounded by flowing water, slightly raised his head and said, "No matter what, Fang Chen is one of the candidates for Bloodline King. We can't just stand by and do nothing when he's in danger." "What? You guys want to violate the rules?" Don't forget, Fang Chen was only one of the many candidates, not the only one. At this time, no one can make a move. The old man with the coarse beard said expressionlessly. As the subordinates of the Bloodline King, although they were powerful, they couldn't attack at will. The Bloodline Monarch's order had always been engraved in his mind. Indeed, we can't interfere if he's not the only candidate. However, don't you know that Fang Chen has comprehended the Black Hole Bloodline? The old man enveloped in flames said, "The Black Hole Bloodline is the strongest bloodline created by Lord Bloodline King. He once said that whoever can comprehend the profoundness of the Black Hole Bloodline and control it will have a 90% chance of becoming the only candidate." Moreover, Lord Bloodline King also said that if the candidate with the Black Hole Bloodline is in danger, we can decide whether to help. Fire Devil True Monarch, didn't Fang Chen take care of your descendant? If you want to return the favor, you can help him yourself. Why do you need to drag us in? The others shook their heads. Since that's the case, I won't say anything more. After saying that, Fire Devil True Monarch's figure flashed and disappeared into the horizon. "Wait for me." True Monarch Water True Monarch chased after him. The others looked at each other and closed their eyes. In addition, far away in the core area of the northern region, Empyrean Realm Lord also heard the news about Fang Chen. Ever since Fang Chen entered the northern region, he had been paying attention to him. Shinshin School? Empyrean Realm Lord's eyes flashed as he muttered to himself. A mere Shinshin School won't be a problem for my brother. Although Empyrean Realm Lord wasn't prepared to take action, he still wouldn't allow Shinshin School to harm his brother. Just treat it as a life and death tempering. Empyrean Realm Lord grinned and said, "If you can get through this crisis, us brothers will have a good drink." In the past, Empyrean Realm Lord was an existence that Fang Chen looked up to. But now, unknowingly, Fang Chen had already caught up to Empyrean Realm Lord. Wang. Starlight flashed on Empyrean Realm Lord's body as a terrifying aura spread out. With every step he took, the void would distort. If someone was here, they would definitely be shocked. This was because this was the technique of a World King Realm expert. To be exact, the current him could no longer be called Empyrean Realm Lord but Empyrean Realm King. Shinshin School. 100 years ago, the sect master mysteriously disappeared. All this time, the vice sect master had been in charge of the Shinshin School. And he was currently the strongest person in Shinshin School. Hoo. In the distant horizon, a terrifying aura spread out. A stream of light rapidly shot out and arrived at the Shinshin School's headquarters. The current Shinshin School's headquarters had collapsed due to the destruction of the mountain protecting array and the destruction of its foundation. Although they were doing their best to repair it, it would be difficult to restore it to its original appearance in a short period of time. He stood in the air and looked down at the battered and exhausted Shinshin school. The vice sect master clenched his fists, his anger surging out. A mere transcendent realm lord can cause my Shinshin school to be in such a state. The vice sect master's anger reached the heavens. His pitch-black eyes were filled with blood-red killing intent. Realm Lord Skyheart, I will definitely kill you. Hoo. After the vice sect master returned, many elders quickly rushed over to welcome him. When they saw the vice sect master, they lowered their heads. Vice sect master. The vice sect master waved his hand to stop the elders from speaking. There's no need to speak anymore. My Shinshin school will definitely take revenge for this. I'm sorry. It's my negligence that caused the mountain protecting array to be damaged, allowing Realm Lord Skyheart to take advantage of this opportunity. An elder in charge of controlling the mountain protecting array said apologetically. The vice sect master shook his head. The most important thing now is to investigate whether there's a mastermind behind Realm Lord Skyheart. Everyone thought that with Fang Chen's strength, it was impossible for him to silently enter the Shinshin school's headquarters. Even a World King expert wouldn't be able to do so. But Fang Chen, as a transcendent world lord, not only did he enter the Shinshin school and save Princess Xin, but he also destroyed the mountain protecting array and damaged its foundation. If one were to say that there wasn't a mastermind behind him, they wouldn't believe it. I've checked carefully. They seem to have dug their way here from underground. Also, there must be a powerhouse who's proficient in array formations. The elder in charge of controlling the mountain protecting array analyzed. Vice sect master, could it be one of the 5 kings of the world city? Another elder asked. The vice sect master shook his head. During this time, the 5 kings of the world city have been with me. It can't be them. Then who could it be? An elder's expression was solemn. To be able to turn my Shinshin school into such a sorry state in such a short time, their cultivation must be at least at the World King realm. But there's almost no World King that dares to go against my Shinshin school. Could it be someone from another place? For a time, many elders fell into silence. This blow to the Shinshin school was extremely heavy. The destruction of the mountain protecting array was a small matter, but losing face was a big matter. After this matter spread out, how would the various powers view the Shinshin school? Let's think of a way to capture that girl first. The vice sect master said. To him, Princess Xin's dragon flame heaven's heart was the most important. But the 5 kings of the world city are protecting her. Our people can't enter the world city at all. It's too difficult to capture her. In order to achieve his goal, he'll do whatever it takes. Moreover, since he dared to provoke our Shinshin school, he should be prepared to receive the wrath of our Shinshin school. As he spoke until here, the vice sect master's tone changed. His eyes gleamed with a cold light as he said, the Skyheart World Lord came from the Skyheart World in the eastern region. Immediately arrange for people to head to the eastern region and destroy the Skyheart World for me. Capture his loved ones and use them to threaten him. Do this beautifully. Don't leave any traces behind. Destroy the Skyheart World with the fastest speed. After capturing his family, return immediately. Chapter 3201. As Shinshin School was making such a big fuss, Devil Hand Sect, 10,000 Poisons Sect, and Black Wolf Mountain were quietly gathered together to discuss matters. They originally suspected that the proud sons of heaven of their sect had been killed by Fang Chen. But afterwards, Fang Chen flatly denied it. With the protection of the 5 kings of the world capital, they couldn't say anything. But now, they received news that the chaos in Shinshin School was caused by World Lord Skyheart. And the reason for all of this was the proud son of heaven of Shinshin School, World Lord Skyheart. These 3 great powers had no choice but to discuss whether or not they should attack Fang Chen. The 10,000 Poisons sect was located in a gloomy and terrifying mountain valley. This mountain valley was filled with a terrifying poisonous gas. Ordinary martial artists didn't dare to approach the 10,000 Poisons sect for fear of being corroded by the poisonous gas. But today, the leaders of 2 great powers had arrived at the 10,000 Poisons sect. They were Black Wolf Mountain Master and Devil Hand Sect Master. The atmosphere in the meeting hall was heavy and solemn. The 10,000 Poisons sect master paced back and forth, his face dark and gloomy. There was a faint killing intent in his eyes. "What do the two of you think of this matter?" After a long time, the 10,000 Poisons sect master asked. According to the descriptions of the other world lords who survived, World Lord Skyheart has already reached the transcendent realm. His combat strength is comparable to a World King realm powerhouse. If there was anyone within the enchantment that had the ability to kill the three of them, it could only be World Lord Skyheart. Devil Hand Sect Master said. That's right. 3 transcendent world lords in addition to World Lord Skyheart. Even if they faced a World King realm powerhouse, they would still be able to escape unscathed. With such combat strength, even Ouyang Luoshua wouldn't be able to contend with them. Black Wolf Mountain Master said, according to the news we received, the reason Shinshan School is in such a difficult situation is because the mastermind is Fang Chen. And the root of all of this is World Lord Skyheart. In summary, the three of them were certain that Fang Chen was the murderer of the sect's proud world lords. No matter what, I'd rather kill the wrong person than let him slip by. The 10,000 Poisons sect master halted his steps and said coldly, Sector Lord Merciless Hand is the most outstanding sector lord of our 10,000 Poisons sect. In the future, he has the potential to inherit the mantle of our 10,000 Poisons sect's ancestor and bring the 10,000 Poisons sect to greater heights. For such a genius to die in a barrier is too great a blow to our 10,000 Poisons sect. We must avenge him. The importance of Merciless Tyrant to Myriad Poisons sect, Jing Lang to Black Wolf Mountain, and Myriad Devil Slayer to Devil Hand sect was the same. The three major powers usually didn't have any interactions, but because of Realm Lord Heaven Heart, they were all gathered together. We can basically confirm that the Skyheart World Lord is the culprit. The sect master of the 10,000 Poison School said, but we don't need to worry. We'll wait until he and Shinshan School have a life and death struggle, and then we'll reap the benefits. The three of them looked at each other with sinister smiles in their eyes. World City, an elegant courtyard. In just a few days, Fang Chen had healed Princess Xin's injuries. There was always a smile on Princess Xin's face. As long as she could see Fang Chen, she would be satisfied. In the courtyard, Fang Chen sat on a stone bench as Princess Xin poured wine for him. Shinshan School is too powerful. You've made their mountain gate so miserable. They won't let this matter rest. Princess Xin was a little worried. Fang Chen shook his head. It's fine. As long as I don't leave World City, they can't do anything to me. Boss. Little Mouse and the others walked out of Dark Cave Mountain one after another. It's too stuffy inside Dark Cave Mountain. It's better outside. The pure-blooded beast cubs also came out. They were originally very lively. Ever since the 6 of them gathered together, they became even more lawless. You guys, looking at these guys, Fang Chen shook his head and smiled bitterly. Boss, we want to go out for a walk, Xiao Huang said. Don't leave World City, Fang Chen reminded. No problem. The 6 of them disappeared from the courtyard like a wisp of smoke. World City was as peaceful as ever. However, there was an undercurrent behind this calmness. In the blink of an eye, a month passed. During this time, Shinshan School became more and more quiet. They didn't do anything. Little Mouse and the others thought that Shinshan School was probably afraid of the 5 kings of World City. Moreover, if they didn't leave World City, Shinshan School couldn't do anything. They didn't want to waste their efforts. Only Fang Chen didn't think so. The more Shinshan School acted like this, the more irritated he was. Why am I so absent-minded? Could it be that something big is going to happen? Fang Chen paced back and forth in the elegant courtyard, feeling enlightened. Suddenly, his communication jade pendant rang. Skyheart Realm Lord, something bad has happened. The true martial Realm Lord's voice was very urgent. Skyheart Realm has been destroyed. Hearing this, Fang Chen's body trembled. He hurriedly asked, what happened? After the Realm Lord conference ended, we returned and have been paying attention to Skyheart Realm. In just one night, Skyheart Realm seemed to have suffered a huge blow. No one survived and the entire realm was turned into ruins. The true martial Realm Lord said in a deep voice. We suspect that this is the work of the corpse demon. Bang! Fang Chen punched the stone table. The table couldn't withstand the force and shattered. In the void, a terrifying aura spread. The entire courtyard became incomparably oppressive. Shinshan School. Fang Chen's eyes were scarlet red as he roared in anger. His voice alarmed Princess Xin. She hurriedly ran out of the pavilion and asked, "What happened?" She had never seen Fang Chen so furious before. She thought that something important must have happened. Skyheart Realm has been destroyed. Fang Chen said in a deep voice. What? Princess Xin immediately thought of Bai Qingqing. The latter was managing Skyheart Realm for Fang Chen. Then, we don't know if she's alive or dead. Fang Chen knew what Princess Xin was asking. He said expressionlessly. He was also very worried about Bai Qingqing's safety. However, he hated Shinshan School even more. How could a major force in the northern region do such a shameless thing? On the streets of World Capital, there was an endless stream of people. The 6 of them transformed into their human forms and strolled on the streets. It's our fault for being too weak. We can't help boss solve his problems. Little Mouse sighed. One day, we will reach the peak. At that time, we will beat up all those who bullied us, Xiao Huang said firmly. The pure-blooded beast beside him nodded. Although our cultivation is low, our potential is stronger than human martial artists. It won't be long before we can rise. The old faker and the others nodded. Let's not talk about these unhappy things. World Capital is so big. We haven't explored it yet. Seahorse suggested. The 6 of them walked together. However, at this moment, Little Mouse's communication jade pendant rang. Immediately after, his expression changed drastically. His aura shot up to the sky. Damn it. Little Mouse's face was ferocious. He was filled with killing intent. What happened? Xiao Huang asked anxiously. Skyheart Realm was destroyed. As soon as Little Mouse finished speaking, his figure flashed and he rushed towards the elegant courtyard. In the blink of an eye, the 6 of them returned to the courtyard. Fang Chen stood quietly in the courtyard. Princess Xin was beside him. She looked anxious. Boss. The little rat said, that trash from the Heart God sect actually dared to attack the Heaven Heart world. Too hateful. Shinshan School. Xiao Huang and the others were furious. Damn it. I'm going to turn Shinshan School upside down now. The pure-blooded beast was furious. He wanted to take revenge immediately. Even Little Mouse and the others didn't know what Skyheart Realm meant to Fang Chen. At this moment, Shinshan School actually did such a shameless thing. They were infuriated. Stop. Fang Chen shouted and stopped the pure-blooded beast. Are you strong enough to fight against Shinshan School? Fang Chen asked. The 6 of them looked at each other in silence. Shinshan School's purpose is to provoke me and make me leave World Capital to take revenge on them. They want to kill me. Fang Chen didn't panic. He said slowly, at this critical moment, we can't be hot-headed. We must be calm. Fang Chen was also worried about Bai Qingqing. He didn't know whether she was dead or alive. However, he knew that his every move was being watched by countless pairs of eyes. As soon as he left World Capital, Shinshan School's strong cultivators would definitely take action. Then are we going to stay like this? Little Mouse asked stubbornly. Fang Chen shook his head. His dark eyes looked at the distant sky. That was the direction of Shinshan School. He didn't care about the lives of the others in Skyheart Realm. Only Bai Qingqing was his reverse scale. Chapter 3202. The Shinshan School was one of the major powers in the northern region, but they actually did such a despicable thing. The entire eastern region was in an uproar. The Realm Lords led by the Realm Lord of the true martial realm were trying their best to search for the survivors of the Skyheart Realm. As the leader of the Skyheart Realm, Fang Chen's anger reached its peak. Since the Shinshan School has given me such a huge gift, how can I not express my gratitude? After being silent for a long time, a strange smile appeared on Fang Chen's face as he spoke in a gloomy voice. At the same time, in the faraway Shinshan School. The current Shinshan School's mountain protection array had been completely repaired, and the underground foundation had also been repaired. Smoke lingered in the Shinshin school, and the atmosphere was heavy. In the meeting hall, the vice sect master sat on the throne and looked down at the elders below. Although he tried his best to remain calm, his eyes were filled with unconcealable rage. Trash, a bunch of trash. The vice sect master berated loudly, I asked you to destroy the Sky Heart realm and capture the family and friends of the Realm Lord, but you returned empty-handed. A mere Sky Heart realm couldn't withstand the attack of a Realm Lord from the Shinshin school. It was too easy to destroy the Sky Heart realm. Although this matter was done secretly, those who were observant would be able to guess that it was done by the Shinshin school. They took such a huge risk to destroy the Sky Heart realm in the eastern region, but they didn't manage to capture a single useful person. If you can't even capture a few people, what's the use of having you? The vice sect master flung his sleeves and said furiously. Below him, the elders in charge of this matter were trembling. One of them hurriedly explained, Vice sect master, we've investigated before. In the Sky Heart realm, there's only a girl called by Ching who has a close relationship with the Realm Lord. Before we took action, we tried to capture her, but who knew that she would use a powerful secret technique at the crucial moment and burn her life source to escape. Although she escaped, we're almost 100% sure that she's dead. Another elder nodded. The vice sect master snorted and said in a deep voice, let's not talk about this for now. Once we capture the Realm Lord, we'll punish you. Under the Shinshin school, there was a huge ore vein. The reason why the Shinshin school was built here was because of this ore vein. The endless resources of the Heart God sect came from this mine. The Shinshin school's protection array was also built of the ore vein. With the mine as the core, the powerful mountain protection formation continued to expand, forming a powerful defense. After the previous Shinshin school, the Shinshin school of the of the Shinshin's Shinshin school. Of Shinshin's S of the Shins Shin-SSS Shinables Shin-S Shinshin Shin Shinshin of the Shinshin to God. Boss, we're already close to the Heart God sect. Little Mouse said solemnly. The Shinshin school was heavily guarded. If they were careless, their lives would be in danger. This ore vein is the foundation of the Shinshin school. If it's destroyed, the Shinshin school will suffer a great loss. Fang Chen muttered to himself. Then, he looked at them and said, if I let you enter the ore vein, how long will it take for you to destroy it? They looked at each other. Then, the pureblood beast said, if we want to completely destroy the ore vein, we have to destroy its source. With our strength, if we work together, we'll probably need 6 hours. Fang Chen pondered for a moment before he said, all right, no one will disturb the two of you during these 6 hours. You can destroy and devour as much as you want. After you've completely destroyed the ore vein, I'll give the Shinshin school a surprise. After saying that, Fang Chen waved his hand and the sky ceiling monument floated out. Under Fang Chen's control, a powerful sealing power emerged from the sky ceiling monument. Rip! Fang Chen bit his finger and dripped a drop of essence blood on the sky ceiling monument. Suddenly, the monument emitted a dazzling light and its sealing power became even stronger. Layers of ripples intertwined in front of Fang Chen to form a powerful seal. Go! Fang Chen stared ahead and said in a low voice. This time, he used his essence blood to activate the sky ceiling monument and pushed its power to the extreme. He used it to tear apart the Shinshin school's protective mountain array. Crack! The ultimate power of the sky ceiling monument was too strong. It was the king of sealing. The Shinshin school's protective mountain array was vulnerable in front of it. In the blink of an eye, the sky ceiling monument had used its powerful strength to tear a crack in the protective mountain array. Go in. Fang Chen led the way and the other little guys followed closely behind. They entered the protective mountain array. However, no one in the Shinshin school knew about the slight change in the protective mountain array. Crash! In the blink of an eye, the protective mountain array closed and returned to its original state. Let's begin, Fang Chen said. Whoosh whoosh whoosh. With the little mouse and the pure-blooded beast cub leading the group, they madly rushed into the ore vein to search for the source of the ore vein. Crash! The little mouse used its powerful innate ability. A terrifying suction force enveloped a large portion of the ore vein in front of it. With a crash, The ore vein was sucked into its mouth. Awesome. It had been a long time since the little mouse had swallowed so much. It was very active. Xiao Huang, the pure-blooded beast cub, and the others were also very active. For them, swallowing ore was too easy. Moreover, the ore contained an extremely strong power. The more they swallowed, the better it was for them. Fang Chen did not stay idle as he watched the few of them taking action. Instead, he used the Sky Sealing Monument's powerful strength to completely seal off their auras. After all, there were powerful World King powerhouses in the Shinshan school. If they were careless, they would be discovered. At that time, there would be a fierce battle. Time passed. The ore vein under the Shinshan school was quickly disappearing. The group's swallowing ability was too strong. They swallowed the ore at a speed that was almost invisible to the naked eye. After an hour, they had already found the core of the ore vein, the primordial ancestral stone. In front of them was a large golden stone. On the surface of the stone, there were complex golden patterns flowing. "Let's attack together and swallow the primordial ancestral stone," the pure-blooded beast cub said. Boom. The pure-blooded beast cub took the lead and crazily poured out the power of its pure-blooded bloodline. As for the little mouse, it used its innate ability. Its purple claws tore at the primordial ancestral stone. The old faker transformed into his true form. The towering tree swayed and countless branches firmly bound the primordial ancestral stone. Xiao Huang's feelers released an unparalleled pressure that corroded the primordial ancestral stone. The pangolin and little sea joined forces. The latter opened its bloody mouth and a vast amount of seawater roared out, submerging the primordial ancestral stone and smoothly sending the pangolin to the primordial ancestral stone. Dong dong dong. The pangolin released its abnormal defense and directly used its physical strength to smash into the primordial ancestral stone. Under the joint attack of the six fellows, the primordial ancestral stone's energy consumption was enormous. In the blink of an eye, cracks appeared on the primordial ancestral stone. The strange movements of the primordial ancestral stone would naturally affect the Shinshan school's protective array. However, Fang Chen had already prepared for this. As the weapon that the heaven-sealing great emperor was once proud of, the sky-sealing monument contained the endless sealing power of the world. At this moment, Fang Chen used his powerful essence blood that contained the power of the black hole bloodline to activate the sky-sealing monument, stabilizing the protective array from the inside and isolating it from the outside world. The people of the Shinshan school were discussing how to lure Fang Chen here. However, what they did not know was that Fang Chen had already prepared a generous gift for them underground. Crack. As time passed, the power of the primordial ancestral stone became weaker and weaker. The little mouse bit off a corner of the primordial ancestral stone and swallowed it directly. The other fellows also attacked one after another. In just 4 hours, the primordial ancestral stone was already in a sorry state. Continue to strengthen the attack. The primordial ancestral stone can no longer resist. The little mouse ordered its companions to continue to strengthen the attack. Boom boom boom. Finally, after 15 minutes, the primordial ancestral stone shattered. A violent force swept through the entire protective array. Fang Chen suddenly opened his eyes. The sky-sealing monument was spinning at high speed, swaying continuously. He knew that the primordial ancestral stone had shattered and no new ore would appear in this mine. This meant that the mine was completely useless. Chapter 3203. Boom. 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 A deafening sound spread from all directions. Fang Chen got up and walked toward the center of the storm with the sky-sealing tablet in his hand. After the primordial ancestor stone shattered, the powerful force that escaped only lasted for a few breaths before it was completely suppressed by Little Mouse, the pure-blooded beast cubs, and the others. Dong. Every step that Fang Chen took could cause the ore vein to shake. On the surface of his skin, complex runes flickered. The power of the Emperor Realm was fully activated. The shocking sword Qi soared into the sky. When he came to the center of the storm, Little Mouse and the others raised their heads and looked at Fang Chen with burning eyes. Next, leave this place to me. Swallow as many ores as you can. After that, quickly enter Ming Cave Mountain, Fang Chen said. When he was in the world capital, Fang Chen had already planned everything that could happen in detail. Buzz. After Little Mouse and the others retreated, the power of the storm wanted to dissipate. However, Fang Chen waved his hand and the sky-sealing tablet stood above the storm and crazily absorbed its power. Dong. Dong. Although the power of the storm was very strong, it could not resist the powerful attraction of the sky-sealing tablet. In the blink of an eye, the power of the storm was completely absorbed. At this time, Fang Chen took out the hidden star sword. In his mind, the image of Princess Xin being injured and the news of the Sky Heart Realm being destroyed and by Qingqing's life and death unknown appeared. Anger arose spontaneously. He held the hidden star sword tightly, and a loud and clear sword cry spread out. Condense. The sky-sealing tablet stood in the void, motionless. In just a few breaths, Little Mouse and the others had already swallowed a large number of ores and then drilled into Ming Cave Mountain. Break. Fang Chen's wrist shook and the invincible sword technique was displayed. The star-breaking sword technique whistled out with an extremely powerful force and the mountain guarding formation shattered. In front of Fang Chen's attack, the mountain guarding formation could not withstand a single blow. Boom. Boom. A deafening sound resounded through the sky. The shattering of the protective formation caused a huge uproar. On the surface of the Shinshan school, many elders suddenly felt the earth shake. Immediately after, the expression of the elder in charge of the protective formation changed drastically. Not good, the protective formation is broken. Enemies are attacking. Just as his voice fell, the ground shook even more violently, as if the end of the world had arrived. Courting death. The vice sect leader's face was dark and murderous. With a low growl, he stomped his foot and disappeared into the void. He looked down at the ground, wanting to find the enemy. However, what he didn't expect was that after the mountain shielding formation shattered, the ground was actually collapsing. How is this possible? He sensed something and cried out involuntarily. Damn it! In the next moment, the vice sect leader completely fell into a state of madness. He was furious. At that moment, the power of the storm that had been absorbed by the sky-sealing tombstone underground was released once again. With an unstoppable force, it destroyed the entire mine. Crack. Wherever the power of the storm passed, the mineral veins were destroyed. The ground where the Shinshan school was located continued to sink, and countless buildings collapsed. Swoosh. Fang Chen suddenly swung his hand, and the hidden star sword whizzed out and directly cut off the last support of the mineral veins. Dong. The ground of the Shinshan school continued to sink. All the martial artists exclaimed. The vice sect leader drilled into the ground, wanting to kill the enemy with his own hands. However, after Fang Chen succeeded, he had already left. Heavenly sealing power. After drilled into the ground, the vice sect leader saw the ruins of the mineral veins. He looked up to the sky and roared in anger. However, he knew that now was not the time to be angry. He had to restrain himself. In the blink of an eye, the vice sect leader suppressed the anger in his heart and used his powerful strength to support the collapsed ground. Set up the formation. Immediately, the vice sect leader transmitted a voice message to the formation master and asked him to set up the formation again. Crack. Although there was a strong person like the vice sect leader supporting it, the ground was still collapsing, but at a much slower speed. The mountain shielding formation shattered, the mineral veins turned into ruins, and the Shinshan school was directly turned upside down. Wang. After a while, the mountain shielding formation was set up again, and the ground no longer collapsed. The Shinshan school turned into ruins, and countless weak martial artists were killed or injured. Above the ruins, smoke filled the air. The vice sect master stood there quietly, his pitch-black eyes filled with endless killing intent. The foundation that the Shinshan school has accumulated for countless years has been destroyed in a day. The vice sect leader said angrily, I am responsible for this matter. Many of the elders lowered their heads and stood quietly. For countless years, the Shinshan school had always been a top force in this territory. However, today, they had encountered such an unforeseen event. Their hearts were very complicated. After a long time, the powerful force above the Shinshan school gradually dissipated. At this time, the vice sect leader saw a head above the ruins. He fixed his eyes on it, and his anger erupted. "Damn you, Realm Lord Tian Xin. I will tear you to pieces." The vice-sect leader looked up to the sky and roared. That head was the head of the most monstrous genius of the Xinshan school, Realm Lord Yang Xin. In the elegant courtyard of the world capital, Fang Chen had returned safely. Little Mouse and the others had also come out of Dongming Mountain. That was too satisfying. Ha ha ha, I can imagine how angry the Xinshan school will be when they see that head. They brought this upon themselves. They couldn't capture the boss, so they attacked the weak forces. Such despicable means are too shameless. This piece of news quickly spread throughout the world. Countless warriors were in an uproar after hearing the news. Who is it that attacked the Xinshan school? Oh my god, the Xinshan school's hundreds of millions of years of foundation has been destroyed in a day. This is going to destroy the Xinshan school. Could it be an external force from another place? Many people were guessing who had done it. After all, with the strength of the Xinshan school, even if the world capital, the Devil Hand sect, the 10,000 Poison sect, and the Black Wolf Mountain joined forces, they still wouldn't be able to destroy it. If it was an external force, they wouldn't be able to do it so quietly. This was also what they couldn't figure out no matter how much they thought about it. The Xinshan school was such a huge force, but its foundation was destroyed and its mountain gate turned into ruins. What kind of shocking means was this? It is said that there is a mineral vein under the Xinshan school. That mineral vein is the foundation of the Xinshan school. This time, the person who attacked the Xinshan school obviously knew about this. He secretly snuck in and destroyed the mineral vein, completely angering the Xinshan school. Although the Xinshan school's foundation has been destroyed, a starving camel is still bigger than a horse. The strength of the Xinshan school is still not to be underestimated. Many martial artists had their own opinions. However, there was one point that everyone agreed on. That was, in the near future, the Xinshan school would definitely do its best to search for the enemy and then suppress them with absolute strength. Everyone looked up at the blue sky and sighed. The sky is going to change. After the 5 kings of the world capital heard the news, they were also stunned. Then they went to find Fang Chen. Do you know that the Xinshan school's foundation has been destroyed? The Lord of the World Capital asked. Fang Chen nodded and didn't hide anything. I did it. What? The 5 kings of the world capital exclaimed. Their eyes widened and they looked at Fang Chen in disbelief. However, after seeing his expression, they knew that he wasn't lying. This matter should be true. Although the Xinshan school's headmaster mysteriously disappeared and no one knows where he went, the vice-headmaster's strength shouldn't be underestimated. How did you do it? The Lord of the World Capital asked in a deep voice. He knew better than anyone how powerful the Xinshan school was, so he found it even more unbelievable. Yes, according to the news we received, the mine under the Xinshan school has also been destroyed. What a big deal. The grey-robed elder shook his head and sighed. The Xinshan school used despicable means to attack the Sky Heart realm in the eastern region and destroy it. I gave them a taste of their own medicine and destroyed their foundation. It's not too much. Fang Chen said. Everyone thinks that it's very difficult to sneak into the Xinshan school without anyone knowing, but it's not difficult for me. As he spoke, the heaven sealing tablet floated in Fang Chen's palm. This is the heaven sealing tablet. After all, the 5 kings of the world capital had seen the world. They recognized the heaven sealing tablet at a glance. Their expressions changed drastically and they exclaimed. But soon, they felt relieved. For the heaven sealing tablet, the Xinshan school's protective array was nothing. It was easy to sneak in. Chapter 3204. The Sky-Sealing Great Emperor was a legendary supermaster in the ancient times. He entered the Tao with seals, and then with seals, he became the most powerful master in the Tao of Seals in the ancient chaos. His Tao of Seals was all-encompassing. Once he used it, everything in the world froze. Back then, he used the Tao of Seals to conquer the world and was almost invincible. At that time, he was already standing at the peak of the Tao of Seals. However, he thought that there was still room for improvement in the Tao of Seals. Therefore, from then on, he devoted himself to studying, hoping to improve further in the Tao of Seals. After countless years, he merged all his understanding of the Tao of Seals into one and refined the Sky Sealing Tablet. Now, the Sky Sealing Tablet was in the hands of Fang Chen. After seeing the Sky Sealing Tablet, the 5 kings of the Realm City were shocked and full of emotion. No wonder he was chosen by the Bloodline King. No one could rival his luck. With the Sky Sealing Tablet in hand, it explained why Fang Chen could sneak into the Shinshan school without being noticed. I have a few brothers. They worked together to destroy the primordial stone, so the mine turned into ruins, Fang Chen said. He didn't say who his brothers were, and he didn't want to say more. The 5 kings of the Realm City looked at each other with complicated expressions. Then the Realm City Lord stepped forward and said, "You were a little impulsive this time. The power of the Shinshan school is far more complicated than you think. Now that you've destroyed the mine, the foundation of the Shinshan school is destroyed. They will definitely go crazy and attack you. Even if the 5 of us protect you, it won't help." The Realm City Lord was a little worried. Fang Chen shook his head. What the Shinshan school had done to the Skyheart realm was enough for him to attack without thinking of the consequences. If the 5 kings of the Realm City couldn't protect him, he could just leave. With his strength, no one in the Shinshan school could stop him if he used the rock body technique. This was the source of Fang Chen's confidence. His Dopeng body movements allowed him to be invincible. He even dared to confront Shinshan school head-on. At this moment, the higher-ups of Shinshan school were probably furious. The corners of Fang Chen's mouth curled up, revealing a sinister smile. When you guys destroyed the Skyheart realm, you should have been prepared for your sect to be destroyed, right? 10,000 Poisons Sect. Devil Hand Sect Leader and Black Wolf Mountain Master hurriedly rushed over. Sect Master of the 10,000 Poisons Sect. When the 2 of them saw the Sect Master of the 10,000 Poisons Sect, they smiled and greeted him. "You've heard about it, right?" The Sect Master of the 10,000 Poisons Sect went straight to the point. The 2 of them nodded. The Black Wolf Mountain Master said in a deep voice, "This matter is far more complicated than we imagined. If this matter is really done by the Skyheart Realm Lord, then he must have a powerful force supporting him." "That's right. I even suspect that there might be an external power trying to invade this place and secretly nibble away at it," Sect Master Devil Hand said. "Let's wait and see. The Shinshan school will definitely take revenge after suffering such a blow. Even if the 5 kings of the world capital take action, I'm afraid they won't be able to continue protecting the Skyheart Realm Lord." The Sect Master of the 10,000 Poisons Sect said, "Once the Skyheart Realm Lord falls into a situation of certain death, the power behind him will definitely not sit by and do nothing. At that time, everything will be clear." "Then what should we do?" the Black Wolf Mountain Master and Sect Master Devil Hand asked. Originally, they wanted to hide in the dark and reap the benefits of the situation. But now, with such a thing happening, they could faintly feel that the world was about to change. "We'll bide our time and continue to send out intelligence personnel to find out everything about the Skyheart Realm Lord and the Shinshan school," the Sect Master of the 10,000 Poisons Sect muttered. Other than these 3 major powers, the other smaller powers were also terrified. The Shinshan school was such a colossus. In just one night, its foundation was destroyed. Even the mineral veins underground were completely turned into ruins. The sect was in a mess. Smoke rose everywhere. If someone said this in the past, people would definitely think that there was something wrong with that person's mind. But now, it really happened. Moreover, it greatly exceeded everyone's expectations. That was the Shinshan school. It was protected by a powerful protective array and had many powerful combatants. "The world is about to change. Don't move around." Many martial artists warned their friends. "Especially don't go to the world capital. There's a high chance that you'll be swept into the storm of battle." On the 3rd day after the Shinshan school's sect was destroyed, a piece of news quickly spread. The army of the Shinshan school led by the vice-sect master was majestically heading towards the world capital. They surrounded the world capital and forced the 5 kings to hand over the Skyheart Realm Lord. Otherwise, they would use all their strength to destroy the world capital. In an instant, a storm was brewing. Countless martial artists were shocked. Could it be that the news is true? The Skyheart Realm Lord is the mastermind? But the Skyheart Realm Lord is just a transcendent realm lord. No matter how strong his potential is, it's impossible for him to do this, right? Impossible. Absolutely impossible. There must be something hidden behind this. It's highly possible that there's an even more terrifying power behind the Skyheart Realm Lord supporting him. Many martial artists had different opinions. World capital. In the sky, dark clouds covered the sky and covered the earth. A terrifying aura spread out. The atmosphere within the world capital was extremely oppressive. The streets were empty. None of the martial artists could hide. Hoo. 5 powerful auras shot up into the sky from the city lord's residence. The 5 kings of the world capital floated in midair and stared at the Shinshin school outside the world capital. My world capital and the Shinshin school have never interfered with each other. I wonder what Vice Sect Master means by this. The world capital lord asked. Temph, the Vice Sect Master snorted. His face was ferocious as he said coldly, hand over the Skyheart Realm Lord. Otherwise, I don't mind using all the forces of the Shinshin school to fight to the death with the world capital. If it was during normal times, the Shinshin school would definitely not have a conflict with the world capital for the sake of benefits. But now, they couldn't care less. As long as they could kill the Skyheart Realm Lord, everything would be worth it. The Skyheart Realm Lord is our world capital's VIP. I wonder what enmity does the Vice Sect Master have with him? The world capital lord continued asking. City lord, don't act dumb. Don't you know what happened in my Shinshin school? This brat destroyed my sect and broke the foundation of my Shinshin school. This is an irreconcilable enmity. If you insist on protecting the Skyheart Realm Lord, don't blame me for being impolite. As he spoke, the Vice Sect Master's aura surged. He pressed his palm down. Instantly, a vast amount of energy gathered together and formed a huge palm print that landed on the sky above the world capital. Dong. Seeing this, the world capital lord waved his hand and blocked the huge palm print. Then, the palm print exploded. Seems like the world capital has made a decision. The Vice Sect Master's gaze was cold as he said coldly. The Skyheart Realm Lord is just a transcendent world lord. How can he destroy your Shinshin school and break the foundation of your Shinshin school? The world capital lord said solemnly. Even if the 5 of us joined forces, we wouldn't be able to do it. Cut the crap. Are you going to move aside or not? The Vice Sect Master's figure flashed and appeared above the world capital. Seeing that the 5 kings of the world capital had no intention of moving, the Vice Sect Master waved his hand and a violent energy howled. Kill him. Following the Vice Sect Master's order, the world capital instantly turned into a battlefield. Countless miserable screams could be heard. Stop. The 5 kings of the world capital were enraged. They attacked at lightning speed, wanting to stop the Vice Sect Master. This is your decision. You can't blame others. After saying this, the Vice Sect Master's forehead flashed and an extremely terrifying energy shot out. Seeing this, the 5 kings of the world capital's expression changed drastically. This is the power of the mind. In an instant, a scimitar appeared in the Vice Sect Master's hand. This scimitar was completely formed by the power of the mind. On the blade, runes flashed and an endless amount of energy poured into the scimitar from the mark on his forehead. The Shinshin school's sect protection treasure, the power of the mind, was completely released. The Vice Sect Master held the scimitar in his hand as his power of the mind revolved around it. With a flick of his wrist, the scimitar swooped down. Boom! The scimitar carried absolute power as it forced the 5 kings back and split the world capital in half. Dong! The earth trembled as the buildings of the world capital shattered. A terrifying aura shot up into the sky. Stop! The 5 kings of the world capital's eyes turned red as they roared in anger. Chapter 3205. The once bustling world city had now turned into a bloody battlefield. The smell of blood permeated the air above the city. Screams of agony rang out incessantly. From time to time, warriors would fall into a pool of blood. The scene was too cruel. However, The Heart God sect had mobilized the entire sect to attack. The goal of this battle was to kill Fang Chen. They would kill anyone who tried to stop them. The 5 kings of the world city had joined forces and their attack power was extremely strong. However, they were stopped by the vice sect leader alone. Buzz. The vice sect leader's body was covered with a terrifying mental strength. Powerful energy gushed out from his body. He held the heart blade in his hand and his attack power soared to the extreme. With one slash, the world city was split apart. This scene made the 5 kings of the world city grimace. Stop! The lord of the world city roared in anger. His body rapidly expanded and turned into a black eagle. Roar! A loud screech resounded through the sky. The lord of the world city is actually a beast. In anger, the lord of the world city transformed into his true form. He spread his wings and his huge body floated in the air. His claws were extremely sharp as they clawed at the heart blade. Crack! The lord of the world city's claws suddenly grasped the heart blade. You're courting death. The heart blade and the mind power were the most precious treasures of the Shinshin school. They were also the final trump cards. The vice sect leader had brought them here to fight against the 5 kings of the world city. Now, he had achieved his goal. The lord of the world city had been forced to transform into his true form. The other 4 kings couldn't withstand the sharpness of the heart blade. Rumble. The 5 kings of the world city and the vice sect leader fought fiercely. In the distant sky, countless warriors hid in the dark and watched the battle. They were extremely shocked, especially when they saw the lord of the world city transform into his true form. They were even more dumbfounded. I didn't expect the lord of the world city to be a beast. He's too strong. After the lord of the world city transformed into his true form, his attack power soared. Especially his speed, no one can match him. It seems like Shinshin School is determined to kill World Overlord Tien Shin this time. Otherwise, they wouldn't have brought the Heartblade and Mind Force. Sect Master Devil Hand, Sect Master 10,000 Poisons, and Black Wolf Mountain Master stood in the clouds, watching the battle in World Capital. With the power of the mind and the Heartblade working together, the 5 kings of the World Capital will find it hard to resist. Even if they can resist, they will be restrained. The other cultivators in the World City are no match for the Shinshin School. Just as everyone was discussing, a certain battlefield in the city suddenly attracted everyone's attention. Poochie. Fang Chen brandished the star-concealing sword. In an instant, a beam of cold light flashed. The nearest world overlord to him was caught off guard and couldn't dodge in time. He was directly slain. Kill. A murderous aura filled Fang Chen's eyes. As far as the eye could see, World City was covered in smoke. Buildings were shattered, and countless martial artists were caught in a fiery inferno. And all of this was because of him. Fang Chen's heart was filled with anger. At this moment, he only wanted to kill as many people from Shinshin School as possible. People from Shinshin School deserve to die. Fang Chen activated the rock movement technique. His speed was extremely fast as he continuously executed his invincible sword techniques. Every time he attacked, someone would die under his sword. In just a few minutes, dozens of world overlords had died in the hands of Fang Chen. This scene shocked everyone. Let's work together and surround this kid. A transcendent world overlord from Shinshin School shouted. Instantly, dozens of world overlords gathered together and surrounded Fang Chen. However, Fang Chen had entered killing god mode. His attack power was unprecedentedly strong. Mere world overlords couldn't fight against him. Formation. Dozens of world overlords formed a formation and attacked Fang Chen. Child's play. Fang Chen sneered. He grabbed with his hand and the sealing power spread out, tearing the formation apart. Dong. After which, he punched out and killed a world overlord. Poochie. One man and one sword, killing until everyone trembled in fear. As time passed, the battle also entered a white-hot stage. In the sky, the heart blade in the vice sect leader's hand suddenly flashed and merged with the mark on his forehead. Suddenly, a terrifying aura emerged from the heart blade. It's time to end this. The vice sect leader stomped his foot, causing the void to tremble. He slashed out with his blade, causing violent ripples to flash out. The terrifying shockwave forced the other 4 kings to retreat. In the next second, he threw out the heart blade and appeared in front of the World City Lord with his fastest speed. "Bastard, die!" He clenched his fists and fiercely punched the World City Lord. Roar! The Lord of the Realm Capital used his innate ability. He flapped his wings, causing the void to become chaotic. A terrifying blood-red shadow appeared above his head. After this shadow appeared, it quickly dyed the sky red. Dawn. The blood-red shadow stood in front of the World City Lord, blocking the Vice Sect leader's attack. "It's useless." The Vice Sect leader shook his head. At this point, even if the 5 kings worked together, there was no chance of turning the tables. Shio. As he spoke, the heart blade with endless power tore through the sky and shot towards the World City Lord at a speed invisible to the naked eye. Poochie. The Realm City Lord flapped his wings in an attempt to block the attack. However, the heart blade pierced through his wings with unimaginable power and into his body. Boom! The World City Lord's body suddenly exploded, flesh and blood splattering everywhere. He, who was in human form, staggered out from the terrifying aura. Deng deng deng! The other 4 kings quickly came to the World City Lord's side and surrounded him. The 5 kings stood side by side, staring at the Vice Sect leader. The latter stood in the void and opened his palm, the heart blade falling down. "The 5 kings of the World City are only SOSO. The Vice Sect leader sneered. "If you want to blame someone, blame the World Heart Realm Lord. How do you feel seeing the World City destroyed with your own eyes?" The Vice Sect leader's body was filled with an aura of disdain. He looked down at the 5 kings of the World City. In the past, he was on equal footing with the 5 kings. But today, he came with the power of the mind and the heart blade, suppressing the 5 kings with his own strength. From this moment on, the era of the 5 kings of the World City would completely end. From now on, the Shinshin school would be the only overlord in this area. Chumph, the Vice Sect leader saw Fang Chen on the battlefield below. The latter was brave and skilled in battle, his attack power was extremely strong. 1 man and 1 sword, fighting a bloody battle. In a short period of time, countless people of the Shinshin school were killed. The Vice Sect leader's face darkened when he saw this. He waved his sleeve and the heart blade shot out. Clang! All of a sudden, the heart blade that had shot out was blocked. Then, the World City Lord blocked the heart blade. "Do you want to die?" The Vice Sect leader's face was ferocious as he said coldly. "With your strength, you can't use the power of the mind and the heart blade for a long time." The World City Lord said in a low voice. "The longer you use it, the more your strength will decrease. Do you still have the strength to sweep the World City?" Although the World City Lord was injured, the other 4 kings still had their battle power. The Vice Sect leader forced the power of the mind and the heart blade. Once the time limit was up, his battle power would be greatly reduced. Hearing this, the Vice Sect leader's face changed. So what? Soon, the Vice Sect leader calmed down. The World Heart Realm Lord destroyed the Shinshin School's mountain gate and broke the foundation of the Shinshin School. This hatred is irreconcilable. The Shinshin School will kill him. No one can stop us. The 5 of you can protect him for a while, but can you protect him forever? The Vice Sect leader said coldly. Moreover, the Shinshin School has been established for countless years. How can the World City compare to us? As soon as he finished speaking, the sky suddenly changed color and dark clouds gathered crazily. In the distant sky, a crack appeared. Then, a sigh that seemed real and illusory was heard. The Shinshin School will not be humiliated. This voice exploded in the minds of the crowd. Their hearts were stirred up by a storm. Even the 5 kings of the World City suddenly changed their faces after hearing this voice. The situation is not good. Hurry up and leave. The World City Lord hurriedly transmitted a message to Fang Chen, telling him to quickly leave this place. On the battlefield below, the battle came to an abrupt end. Fang Chen quickly retreated and stared at the distant sky. The long-lost Shinshin School Lord? Things were already out of Fang Chen's control. In his mind, he was quickly thinking about what to do. The situation in the World City suddenly changed. The sudden voice seemed to have a shocking demonic nature, causing everyone to be stunned. After a short silence, the people of the Shinshin school cheered. Chapter 3206. The principal of the Shinshin school was once the strongest person in the Shinshin school. His cultivation was unparalleled. When he was still around, the Shinshin school was extremely powerful. Even the border city could not compare to it. However, many years ago, the Shinshin school principal mysteriously disappeared. After that, there was no news of him at all. Some people said that the Shinshin school principal was in seclusion to find a way to break through. Others said that the Shinshin school principal had died in some ruins. For a long time, the various deeds of the Shinshin school principal had been a mystery. However, everyone knew that without the Shinshin school principal, the Shinshin school principal was no longer as glorious as it used to be. Even its deterrence was greatly reduced. This could be seen from the fact that the 5 kings of the border city were not afraid to go to war with the Shinshin school. However, now, at this critical moment, the Shinshin school principal had made a strong comeback. A terrifying vortex suddenly appeared at the end of the void in the distance. The vortex was surrounded by a terrifying power. All the power in the world was absorbed by the vortex. As soon as the vortex appeared, all the warriors were shocked. The school principal is back. The people of the Shinshin school stopped fighting. Their faces were full of excited smiles. After waiting for so many years, the school principal was finally back. Moreover, at such a critical moment, the school principal is back. God is on our Shinshin school's side. Ha ha ha. The eyes of all the strong people of the Shinshin school, including the vice school principal, were full of enthusiasm. At the end of the void, from the vortex, there was an ancient voice. It seems that the world has forgotten me. As soon as the voice fell, the sky changed color. The void vortex surged wildly, as if it was going to absorb the sky. Rumble. Suddenly, a terrifying lightning tribulation descended. The many cultivators hiding in the dark felt their hearts tremble and they retreated continuously. Some of the weaker warriors were pale, and their hearts were full of fear. Rip. A slender figure slowly walked out from the terrifying tribulation. He was like a god of war from the 9 heavens, returning from the distant horizon with endless power. Under the gazes of the crowd, he slowly raised his head and waved his hand. Immediately, the violent tribulation vanished. He took a step forward and arrived in the air above Realm City in an instant. He slowly raised his head, his pitch-black eyes filled with a terrifying light. Sect Master, you're finally back. The vice sect leader cupped his fists and said excitedly, "Welcome back, Sect Master." Down below, countless Shinshin school students roared. The world city fell silent in an instant. Even the 5 kings of the realm capital had complicated expressions on their faces when they saw the person in front of them. At this moment, the Shinshin school principal was surrounded by a terrifying rune light. Although he did not make a move, the powerful energy that emanated from his body made everyone gasp in shock. Shinshin school didn't seem to be peaceful during the years I was away. The Shinshin school principal glanced at the vice sect leader and said slowly, "Sect Master, it's all my fault. I'm willing to take all the responsibility," the vice sect leader said in a low voice. The Shinshin school principal shook his head and turned his gaze to the 5 kings of the realm capital. "What? Don't you recognize me? You're here." The realm capital's principal muttered. He used to be on par with the Shinshin school principal. But now, the Shinshin school principal had returned with endless pressure. He even felt that he could not see through the latter anymore. This meant that the latter must have encountered a great opportunity in the years that he was missing. He might have even taken the most crucial step. If I didn't come, the Shinshin school would have been destroyed by the realm capital. The Shinshin school principal was talking and laughing, but everyone who heard him felt endless murderous intent. The Shinshin school was his foundation. How could he not be angry that someone was destroying his foundation? Give me a reason. The Shinshin school principal didn't seem to want to say anything more. He shrugged and pointed at the people who had died tragically below. As soon as he finished speaking, the void seemed to freeze. Many martial artists focused their eyes on the 5 kings of the realm capital. The Shinshin school principal had intimidated the realm capital with his powerful pressure. How would the 5 kings of the realm capital respond this time? What kind of explanation do you want? The realm capital's principal asked in a low voice. The Shinshin school and the realm capital don't have much hatred. We just want to take him away. Also, the barrier of the realm capital will unconditionally open to the Shinshin school for 100 years. The attitude of the Shinshin school principal was very tough. His every movement was filled with a powerful deterrent force. The Shinshin school principal, you've gone too far. The other 4 kings were enraged. My world city's most important resource is the spirit formation. Every time the spirit formation is opened, it's a huge loss to my world city. You're asking for an exorbitant price. You want my world city to open unconditionally for your Shinshin sect for 100 years? That's right. I'd rather continue to fight than compromise. No compromise. The 5 kings of the realm capital would never agree to the Shinshin school principal's conditions. Is that so? It's not up to you to decide whether to agree or not. It's up to your fists. As he spoke, the Shinshin school principal stretched out his hand and clenched it into a fist. Around his fist, a majestic power surged. Seeing this, the realm capital's principal's expression changed. You've broken through? Facing the realm capital's panic, the Shinshin school principal grinned. I'll give you one last chance. The 5 kings of the realm capital looked at each other, then gritted their teeth and made a decision. The barrier is the most important resource of the realm capital. Just as the realm capital's principal was about to speak, he was interrupted by the Shinshin school principal. Catch him. The Shinshin school principal pointed at Fang Chen below and said coldly. Boom. The vice sect master took action personally. Holding the heart blade, the mind power mark on his forehead flashed. He took a step forward and instantly came to Fang Chen's side. Run. Without thinking, Fang Chen used the rock body technique to travel through the void and avoid the vice sect master's attack. Obviously, the vice sect master didn't expect Fang Chen to be so fast. You're courting death. The vice sect master activated his mind power and integrated it into the heart blade. Then, with a shake of his wrist, the heart blade instantly expanded and turned into a stream of light, slashing toward Fang Chen. Buzz. Fang Chen, who was running away, suddenly felt that the void around him seemed to be imprisoned. You want to stop me? Fang Chen was full of confidence. He pushed the rock body technique to the extreme and used an extremely strange method to avoid the vice sect master's lightning attack. Dong. The ground shook and a terrifying crack appeared. The heart blade's destructive power was extremely strong, but it didn't hit Fang Chen. The 5 kings of the realm capital who were about to help saw this scene and their eyes lit up. They didn't expect Fang Chen's speed to be so fast. Let's go, it'll be too late if we don't. The realm capital's principal couldn't see through the Shinshin school principal. The latter's strength was beyond his imagination. If he tried to stop him, Fang Chen's life would be in danger. At this moment, the Shinshin school principal was also a bit surprised. What an exquisite body technique. The Shinshin school principal was shocked. He's just a transcendent world lord, but his body technique must be powerful. The Shinshin school principal's eyesight was extremely high. He could tell at a glance that the rock body technique was extraordinary. Freeze. After thinking for a while, the Shinshin school principal pointed his finger. Instantly, with Fang Chen as the center, the space around him froze. Fang Chen, who was traveling through space, was also trapped in mid-air. Boom. At the same time, the vice sect leader's heart blade carried a powerful force as it whizzed through the air. Not good. Fang Chen knew this was bad. He forcefully activated the immortal star core and the power in his body instantly soared. Boom. The rock body technique was pushed to the extreme. When the immortal star core's violent immortal star energy was released, Fang Chen's speed once again rose to another level. Catcher. Fang Chen's figure forcibly tore through the confined space and moved dozens of meters in front of everyone's eyes. Boom. As soon as he dodged the attack, the heart saber slammed down on him, causing the entire world city to tremble. You're courting death. The vice sect master was thoroughly enraged as his attacks missed. He forcefully urged the power of his mind, wanting to unleash his strongest attack. In the air, the Shinshan school principal looked at Fang Chen with a burning gaze. This is, the Shinshan school principal's mind flashed. He seemed to have thought of something. Suddenly, he exclaimed, "The rock body technique." That's right. It's the rock body technique. It's the strongest body technique in the ancient era. Chapter 3207. The Shinshan school principal recognized the great rock body movement technique. He was extremely surprised. In ancient times, the pure-blooded Great Rock clan was known for their unparalleled speed. At the same level, no one could catch up with the Great Rock clan. The Great Rock body movement technique was regarded as the supreme body movement technique of the pure-blooded Great Rock clan. Countless martial artists dreamed of obtaining this supreme body movement technique. But now, this body movement technique appeared in front of the Shinshan school principal. His eyes were burning as he clenched his fists. He was very excited. Whoosh! In the void, Fang Chen kept dodging. Although the Vice Lord's heart blade attack was very strong, it couldn't touch his body at all. This made the Vice Lord very angry. He held the heart blade in his hand and attacked continuously, but he was getting farther and farther away from Fang Chen. Whoosh! At a certain moment, Fang Chen found an opportunity. His body flashed and in an instant, he crossed the world city in an attempt to escape this place. You want to escape? Seeing this, the Vice Lord's eyes flashed coldly. He suddenly threw out the heart blade. In mid-air, the Shinshan school principal saw this and stretched out his hand and pressed down. A terrifying power descended and enveloped Fang Chen's body. He cursed inwardly and was forced to retreat. Whoosh! Fang Chen dodged the Shinshan school principal's attack and returned to the world city. Whoosh! Whoosh! The 5 kings of the world city stood in front of Fang Chen and stared at the principal of the Shinshan school. Principal of the Shinshan school, you've gone too far, the Lord of the world city said coldly. Realm Lord Tian Xin is a distinguished guest of the world city. You attacked him so recklessly. Isn't he looking down on the world city? The world city? The principal of the Shinshan school smirked and a sinister smile appeared on his face. My Shinshan school's mountain gate was destroyed and our foundation was destroyed. Now you're telling me that he's a distinguished guest of the world city? What? Can Jie City bear the loss of Shinshan school? Facing the Shinshan school head's question, the Realm City Lord raised his head. Everything requires evidence. May I ask if the Shinshan school has any evidence to prove that Realm Lord Tian Xin did this? The Blazeheart Realm Lord was killed by the Heavenheart Realm Lord. Above the ruins of my Shinshan school, there is the head of the Blazeheart Realm Lord. This is enough to prove everything. The Vice Sect Master said solemnly. The head of Shinshan school was even more domineering. He suddenly waved his hand, and a violent power whistled through the air. Boom! The 5 kings of Realm City were forced to retreat. This is the evidence. The Shinshan school principal took a step forward, and a terrifying power instantly spread out. The entire world city seemed to have fallen into a desperate situation. The 5 kings of World City looked at each other, their eyes filled with determination. No matter what, they had to escort Fang Chen away. Not for anything else, but for the favor they once owed him. In a while, we will stop the Shinshan school principal. You take the opportunity to escape. The Realm City Lord transmitted his voice. Fang Chen shook his head, and his expression was complicated. City Lord, you have done enough for me. However, before Fang Chen could finish his words, he was interrupted by the Realm City Lord. The latter wanted to say something, but the Shinshan school principal didn't give him any chance. Boom! The Shinshan school principal clenched his fist and lightly punched out. This punch seemed simple, but it was actually very powerful. Go! The 5 kings of Realm City roared the moment they attacked. The 5 of them joined forces and formed a powerful joint attack formation. Terrifying battle runes surrounded the area, completely connecting the 5 of them together. Dong! However, the joint attack formation only lasted for a second before it was broken by the Shinshan school principal's punch. Bang! The 5 kings of Realm City fell heavily to the ground. They spat out blood and their faces were pale. They weren't at the same level as the Shinshan school principal. They were completely defeated in a single blow. Whoosh! At this time, Fang Chen had also activated the rock body technique to the extreme. He continuously traveled through time and space, trying to use his super-fast speed to escape from Realm City. Buzz! Just as he was about to step out of Realm City, terrifying auras swept over from all directions like a tide. The next moment, Realm City turned into a cage. No matter how Fang Chen traveled, he couldn't break it. Boom! The Vice Sect Master's heart blade whistled. Fang Chen couldn't dodge in time. As if struck by lightning, his body fell heavily. Poochie! He spat out blood and his face was pale. If it weren't for the abnormal defense of his Emperor Realm body, this blow alone would be enough to kill him. Seeing this scene, the 5 kings of Realm City closed their eyes in pain. Forget it. The Realm City Lord sighed and gave up resisting. The Shinshan School principal's strength was beyond their imagination. He was too strong. They had already done their best. Although they didn't want to see this result, they couldn't change it. A mere transcendent realm lord dares to challenge the authority of the Shinshan School? The Shinshan School principal looked down at Fang Chen and sneered. In his opinion, although Fang Chen's potential was strong, it wasn't enough to make him waver. The only thing that made him waver was the legendary rock body technique. Take him away. The Shinshan School principal's cold voice traveled into everyone's ears. I'll spare the 5 of your lives for now. From now on, Realm City will be under the jurisdiction of the Shinshan School. You can never betray us. Otherwise, the next time I attack, Realm City will be destroyed. At this moment, the Shinshan School principal was extremely arrogant. However, the 5 kings of Realm City were speechless. With the former's strength, destroying Realm City was too easy. The 5 of them sat on the ground in pain. Their faces were filled with bitter smiles. Everyone hiding in the dark knew that from today onwards, World City would no longer be the World City of the past. The Vice Sect leader's eyes were filled with killing intent. He quickly walked towards Fang Chen. Fang Chen's eyes were filled with stubbornness. He would rather die in battle than be humiliated. He stood up with difficulty. He held the hidden star sword in his hand. This is the result of going against the Shinshan School. The Vice Sect leader looked around and said coldly. It was as if he was warning the martial artists in the dark. If you want to kill my brother, you'll have to step over my body. Unknowingly, Xiaohua appeared in front of Fang Chen and blocked the Vice Sect leader's attack. Flames surrounded his body. He stared at the Vice Sect leader angrily. Xiaohua, go back. Fang Chen shouted anxiously. With Xiaohua's strength, how could he block the Vice Sect leader's attack? Xiaohua turned around and smiled brightly. Brother, you'll be fine. Just as Fang Chen was about to send Xiaohua back to Mount Dongming, the Vice Sect leader's heartblade had already rushed towards him. Fang Chen pulled Xiaohua away and stepped forward. He blocked the Vice Sect leader's attack with his injured body. Brother! Xiaohua saw this and shouted loudly. At the same time, his figure flashed and rushed in front of Fang Chen. Just as the heart blade was about to fall on Xiaohua's body, the world suddenly seemed to become silent. The Vice Sect leader's body was instantly imprisoned. Even the heart blade was completely silent. What's wrong? This was what everyone was thinking. If he's injured, the Shinshan School will cease to exist. An explosion could be heard coming from the rift all of a sudden. Immediately after, 2 old men walked out and landed in front of Xiaohua. How dare you bully the prodigy of the Fire Source tribe? Crack! In a few breaths, the Shinshan School master blasted open the imprisoned void. His dark eyes stared at the 2 people who suddenly appeared and asked in a deep voice, Who are you? The Fire Demon Perfected Lord ignored the Shinshan School master and looked at Xiaohua seriously. Not bad. After a long time, the Fire Demon Perfected Lord nodded in satisfaction. This was the first time he met Xiaohua. He was very satisfied with Xiaohua. After a short period of shock, Fang Chen instantly understood. The person in front of him was probably the legendary ancestor of the Fire Source tribe, the Fire Demon Perfected Lord. He just didn't expect that he would appear at such a critical moment. He glanced at Xiaohua. Perhaps this fellow had already known about this beforehand. The reason why he blocked in front of him was to force the fire demon perfected lord to appear. This junior greets the ancestor. Xiao Hua knelt on the ground with reverence. Get up. The fire demon perfected lord helped Xiao Hua up with a smile. The water demon perfected lord also said, Fire demon, your descendant is not bad. Of course. Don't you know whose blood is flowing in his body? The fire demon perfected lord said proudly. All the martial artists in the realm city looked at the two people who suddenly appeared. You're courting death. The vice sect leader roared angrily. He held the heart blade in his hand and whistled. Get lost. The fire demon perfected lord, who was about to speak, waved his sleeve. Scorching flames enveloped the vice sect leader. The latter's attack was instantly dissolved and he let out a miserable cry. For a moment, the world fell silent. Everyone was shocked. Chapter 3208. The vice suzerain of the Shinshin school was extremely powerful. With the heart blade in his hand and the power of mind, he could fight against the 5 kings of the realm city. Such a powerful existence was actually sent flying by the old man in front of them, who was emitting hot flames all over his body. How powerful did he have to be able to do that? Waves of shock surged in everyone's hearts. They were dumbfounded and couldn't imagine it. Who is he? For a moment, many people were guessing who the 2 old men were and why they were on the side of the realm city. Ah! A miserable scream came from the ground outside the realm city. Then, the vice suzerain jumped up and floated in the air. He held the heart blade in his hand, and his scarlet eyes were emitting cold murderous intent. His anger had reached its peak. Damn it. The vice suzerain glared at fire demon perfected lord and activated the power of mind again. The heart blade flashed, wanting to take revenge. However, before he could do anything, he was stopped by the Shinshin school's principal. Come back. The Shinshin school's principal flicked his finger, and a ray of light blocked the vice suzerain, stopping him. Although the vice suzerain's face was ferocious and furious, he finally gave up attacking. His figure flashed and returned to the Shinshin school's principal's side. Suzerain. The vice suzerain opened his mouth and wanted to say something, but he was interrupted by the Shinshin school's principal. You are no match for him. Give me the heart blade. Hearing this, the vice suzerain was shocked and immediately handed the heart blade to the Shinshin school's principal. At the same time, the power of mind mark on his forehead flashed and instantly disappeared into the Shinshin school's principal's forehead. Buzz. After the power of mind entered the principal's body, the power of the Shinshin school's principal soared rapidly. In the blink of an eye, it had reached a terrifying peak. He held the heart blade in his hand and stared at fire demon perfected lord. What? Do you want to fight? Fire demon perfected lord curled his lips and sneered. If it weren't for the fact that my descendant is fine, I would have flattened the Shinshin school, let alone you, fire demon true monarch said. The fire demon true lord was the ancestor of the fire origin race. His attainments in the Tao of fire were extremely high. However, as time passed, the bloodline power of the younger generations of the fire origin clan grew thinner and thinner. In the current age of chaos, the power of the bloodline was about to be cut off. In this kind of situation, he discovered Lil Flame, and it was as if he had obtained a supreme treasure. How could he allow others to harm him? In fact, the fire demon true monarch had already arrived during the previous battle. However, he did not show himself and had been observing quietly. That was until Xiao Hua sensed the aura of the fire demon true lord and blocked in front of Fang Chen, forcing the fire demon true lord to appear. Now that fire demon perfected lord had appeared, Xiao Hua was extremely excited. Fang Chen also heaved a sigh of relief. Today's crisis had finally been resolved. No matter who you are, don't even think about stopping me. As soon as the Shinshin school principal's voice fell, his figure flashed. In the sky, a dazzling saber light whizzed through the air. He circulated the power of his mind to the extreme, and the heart saber erupted with even more power. Boom! The heart saber that skyrocketed with endless power descended from the sky, as if it was going to cut the entire world city apart. In the distance, the faces of many martial artists who were hiding in the dark changed drastically when they saw this. Retreat quickly. Wherever the heart saber passed, The power that leaked out was too strong. They could not withstand it. Whoosh whoosh whoosh. In the blink of an eye, many martial artists had completely retreated from this place. There were also some weaker martial artists who could not dodge in time and were hit by the powerful airflow and died. The Shinshin school principal also felt the powerful strength of the fire demon True Lord, so he did not hold back and directly used his strongest attack. Roar. A furious roar came from the Shinshin school principal's mouth. The heart saber in his hand cut through the void and landed on the fire demon True Lord's head. Seeing this, the fire demon True Monarch raised his head unhurriedly. Suddenly, a powerful flame halo appeared around him. Buzz. As soon as the halo of flames appeared, the heart saber slashed down. Crack. The heart saber collided with the halo of flames. The terrifying power collided with each other. However, no matter how sharp the heart saber was, it could not cut through the defense of the halo of flames. The fire demon True Lord shook his head gently. If I wanted to kill you, you would have died long ago. The two of them were not at the same level. Although the Shinshin school principal was strong, he was too weak compared to the fire demon True Lord. His strongest attack could not even break through the defense of the fire demon True Lord. Boom! Under the gaze of everyone, the fire demon True Lord slowly raised his hand and grabbed the heart saber with his bare hands. Hiss! In an instant, the aura of the heart saber disappeared. No, the Shinshin school principal suffered a backlash. He spat out a mouthful of blood and cried out. Whoosh! 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 His body rapidly retreated. Cracks appeared in the void, and a terrifying aura descended. Here, take it. The fire demon True Lord played with the heart saber for a while. Then, he threw it out. The heart saber shot out at a speed invisible to the naked eye. The Shinshin school principal quickly grabbed the heart saber. However, his face was completely gloomy. What have you done? At this moment, the heart saber was dim. Its aura had dissipated, and it had lost its original sharpness. This was the most precious treasure of the Shinshin school. How could it be destroyed just like that? How could he not be angry? However, what could he do even if he was angry? The fire demon True Lord was too strong and unfathomable. If he forcefully attacked, he would be courting death. The Shinshin school principal looked at the fire demon True Lord with fear. He was in a dilemma. If I kill you and destroy your sect, people will inevitably say that I'm bullying the weak. Moreover, I don't care about this kind of thing. Get lost. If you dare to cause trouble here again, there's no need for the Shinshin school to exist. The fire demon True Lord's attitude was very tough. Principal. The vice principal's heart was filled with unwillingness. Go back. The Shinshin school principal roared. Then, his body flashed, and he led the remaining Shinshin school disciples out of the realm city. The void was filled with an incomparably lonely aura. Specks of light shone on the Shinshin school principal's back. How sorrowful it was. No one had expected this outcome. Even the 5 kings of the realm city didn't expect such a shocking reversal in the end. The long-missing Shinshin school principal had returned with endless power. He suppressed the 5 kings of the realm city with his own strength. Everyone thought that after today, the realm city would become history. However, who would have thought that the fire demon True Lord would arrive at the critical moment and easily resolve the crisis? He also forced the Shinshin school to bow down and retreat from the realm city, never to invade again. After the battle came to an end, many martial artists were discussing who the last 2 experts were. Why was it that even sect master Shinshin was no match for them? Especially the Thousand Poisons sect master, Black Wolf Mountain master, and Devil Hand sect master. These 3 experts originally planned to hide in the dark and reap the benefits. But now, this idea had been dispelled. They returned to their respective sects as fast as they could. They didn't even want to mention the Skyheart Realm Lord. Even the Shinshin school principal had been defeated, let alone them. This news spread like a kite across the entire space. Countless martial artists were in an uproar. However, the world capital had calmed down. Under the leadership of the other 4 kings, many martial artists were repairing the realm city as fast as they could. In the garden of the City Lord Mansion, the fire demon True Lord, Water Source True Lord, Fang Chen, and Xiao Hua were sitting on stone benches. The Realm City Lord was beside them. Thank you for your help, seniors. Otherwise, the Realm City would have ceased to exist. The Realm City Lord was sincerely grateful. You stepped forward to protect Fang Chen at such a critical moment. This is enough for me to step in. No need to thank me, the Fire Demon True Lord said with a smile. That's right. Many people have been helped by the Bloodline King, but only a few can step forward at such a critical moment. You're very good, the Water Source True Lord said with a smile. Ancestor. Xiao Hua looked at the Fire Demon True Lord passionately. The latter reached out and patted Xiao Hua's head affectionately. I'm very happy to have such an outstanding descendant like you among my descendants. Although this was the first time he met Xiao Hua, he always paid attention to the younger generation through his bloodline. Chapter 3209. After chatting with Xiao Hua for a while, Fire Demon True Monarch and True Monarch Water True Monarch looked at Fang Chen. You really know how to cause a ruckus. True Monarch Water True Monarch said, you just came to the northern region and you already offended the Shinshan school. This time, I have to thank the two seniors. Fang Chen cupped his fists and thanked the two from the bottom of his heart. Even if the two of us didn't do anything, you would have been able to escape safely. True Monarch Water True Monarch said. He and Fire Demon True Monarch were very knowledgeable and could tell that Fang Chen was using the Great Peng movement technique. At that time, they were extremely shocked. I really didn't expect you to obtain the Great Peng movement technique. Moreover, you seem to have fused your understanding of the Tao of Void into it, causing the speed of the Great Peng movement technique to become extremely strange. True Monarch Water True Monarch exclaimed. That was the famous Great Peng movement technique of the ancient era. Countless people wanted to take it for themselves. Who would have thought that a transcendent world lord would obtain it and even cultivate it completely? If you use the Great Peng movement technique and want to escape, even the head of the Shinshan school won't be able to stop you. True Monarch Fire Demon True Monarch said, as expected of one of the candidates for the Bloodline King selection. Back then, when we first found you, you were just a weak martial artist. Now, you're already a transcendent world lord. Not only do you have great potential in the Sword Tao, but you also have great potential in the Fire Tao, Seal Tao, and the Tao of Void Tao. Those who specialized in one Tao were considered elite prodigies. As for Fang Chen, he specialized in several Taos and had great potential. It was rare to meet such a prodigy in countless eras. Previously, True Monarch Fire Demon True Monarch didn't know much about Fang Chen. But this time, after seeing his battle, he couldn't help but praise him. Even Lin Qian and Jiyu Tianhua at the same level aren't your match. True Monarch Fire Demon True Monarch continued, your future achievements will definitely surpass Lin Qian and Jiyu Tianhua. If you can become the only candidate for the Bloodline King and inherit his legacy, you might even have a chance of becoming the ruler. The Sovereign was the most powerful existence in the entire primal chaos realm. It had been a very, very long time since a Sovereign had appeared. Senior, you praise me too much. Fang Chen said modestly. There's no need to be humble. With your potential, you deserve our praise, said True Monarch Fire Demon. After chatting with Fire Demon True Monarch, Fang Chen also benefited greatly. This was especially so for the Fire Demon True Monarch, who had a unique understanding of the Tao of Fire. After listening to the Fire Demon True Monarch's explanation, he felt enlightened. Many things that he didn't understand before instantly became clear. Thereafter, the True Lord of Water Sources imparted some of his insights into the Tao of Water to Lin Fan. In the blink of an eye, 7 days had passed since the battle. During this time, Fang Chen had been discussing cultivation matters with True Monarch Fire Demon and True Monarch Water Source. Until today, Fang Chen woke up from his epiphany. Not bad, not bad. True Monarch Fire Demon gave Fang Chen a thumbs up. To be able to gain enlightenment in such a short time was enough to show how monstrous Fang Chen's potential was. This time, we came forward to resolve the crisis for you. Although it's not against the rules, it still made many people unhappy. True Monarch Fire Demon said, we'll head back first. You'll have to walk the rest of the path step by step. When you become the only candidate for Bloodline Monarch, we'll meet again. With that said, True monarch fire demon pointed at Xiao Hua. Xiao Hua's cultivation is currently on the rise. I'm preparing to bring him back to teach him personally. Thank you for taking care of Xiao Hua during this period. Xiao Hua can't bear to part with Big Brother. After so many years together, Xiao Hua treated Fang Chen as his own brother from the bottom of his heart. Now that he suddenly had to leave for a long time, he couldn't bear to part with him. Follow Senior Fire Demon and cultivate well. When you're strong enough, we'll meet again, said Fang Chen with a smile. Don't worry, Big Brother. I'll definitely work hard in cultivation. When I'm strong enough, I'll definitely help Big Brother solve your problems, said Xiao Hua with clenched fists. All right, Big Brother will wait for that day to come. True Monarch Fire Demon and True Monarch Water Source left the Realm City with Xiao Hua. Looking at their departing backs, Fang Chen's eyes flashed with a complicated expression. I'm still too weak. If he was stronger, a mere Shinshin school would be nothing. He wouldn't have to resort to any tricks. He could just step into the Shinshin school's mountain gate and forcibly ask for Princess Xin. After the battle in the Realm City, Fang Chen couldn't wait to improve his strength. Shinshin School. After such a long time, most of the Shinshin School's buildings had been restored to their original state. However, the mineral veins underground could no longer be restored. Today, the atmosphere in Shinshin School was very solemn. There were only 2 people in the meeting hall. The Shinshin School master was silent and sat on the throne with an ashen face. Below him, the vice sect master paced back and forth with a solemn expression. Sect master. After a long time, the vice sect master asked, "Who are those 2 people? Why haven't we heard of them before?" The fire demon lord's strength was so powerful that it made them tremble. However, before this, they had never heard that there were 2 powerful experts in this region. Are they old monsters who have been living in seclusion? The Shinshin School master shook his head. Those 2 people are too strong. They're definitely not martial artists from this land. It's very likely that they're from somewhere else. It seems that during these years when I wasn't around, many forces had their eyes on the Shinshin School. Sect Master, with those 2 people here, we can't compete with the Realm City at all. What should we do next? The Vice Sect Master asked. After thinking for a moment, the Shinshin School Master said, "Let's take a break for now." With the deterrence of the Fire Demon Lord, the Shinshin School didn't dare to have any ideas about the Realm City, let alone Fang Chen. For a time, the Shinshin School was completely silent. The land also became abnormally quiet. Fang Chen, on the other hand, was wholeheartedly working hard to cultivate. In a mysterious place very far away from the Realm City. Starlight shone here all year round, as if there were countless stars decorating the land. The starlight surrounded the land, and a terrifying aura enveloped the land. In the endless starlight, there was a faintly discernible mountain peak. On the peak of the mountain, a purple figure leaned against a stone, her beautiful eyes shining as she looked at the distant sky. Whoosh whoosh whoosh. Suddenly, a figure whizzed over. "Master." An old man climbed up the mountain and came to the purple-clothed woman. He said respectfully, "I've found the person you asked me to find." Hearing this, the purple-clothed woman trembled and hurriedly turned around. Her eyes were filled with anxiety. "Is he okay? Where is he?" That person appeared at the border between the northern and eastern regions, a place called the Realm City. The old man said, he participated in the Realm Lord Conference as one of the 9 Realm Lords of the Eastern region. After 100 years of cultivation, he became a transcendent and went on a killing spree, suppressing many prodigious Realm Lords under his feet. Because he killed many transcendent Realm Lords, it caused many powers to attack him. Even the Shinshin School wanted to kill him at all costs. The Shinshin School Lord who had been missing for a long time came back and started an earth-shattering battle with the Realm City's 5 kings. The old man continued, just as the Realm City was about to collapse and that person was about to be killed, the Fire Demon Lord appeared. Hearing the old man's words, the purple-clothed woman was very anxious. "Is he okay?" the purple-clothed woman asked. With the Fire Demon Lord taking action, what can the Shinshin School do? He can suppress them at any time. The old man said, "I suspect that the person Master is looking for is the legendary Bloodline King candidate. Otherwise, why would the Fire Demon Lord and the Water Lord come all the way to the Realm City? Who? The purple-clothed woman heaved a sigh of relief. It was good that he was fine. After hearing the news about Fang Chen, the purple-clothed woman's mood improved. I'll go find him now. The purple-clothed woman said. Master. The old man appeared beside the purple-clothed woman and stopped her. You can't go now. Master almost died in the battle back then. She finally reincarnated and hasn't fully awakened her strength. It's too dangerous for her to walk in the mortal world. The old man wasn't willing to let the purple-clothed woman go down the mountain. Chapter 32:10. As the Shinshin school retreated, the crisis in Realm City was completely resolved. In just 3 months, the crisis in Realm City gradually dissipated. Although everyone was still discussing the 2 super strong fighters behind Fang Chen, they were no longer as shocked as before. After this battle, Realm City had completely established its position as the overlord. Especially with the 2 super strong fighters behind them, no one dared to go against them. The Shinshin school had suffered heavy losses. Many of their realm lords had been killed by Fang Chen. Moreover, the vice sect master had brought the Heartblade and the Mind Power with him this time. He was determined to destroy Realm City. However, the Fire Demon True Monarch was too strong. Even the long-missing Shinshin school's headmaster couldn't do anything about it. In the end, the Shinshin school was defeated and the Mind Power was exhausted. The Shinshin school only felt a little heartache about the death of their realm lords. However, the exhaustion of the Mind Power was related to whether the Shinshin school could rise in the future. The entire Shinshin school was filled with a gloomy atmosphere. Dark clouds gathered in the sky. All the cultivators felt an invisible pressure. The Mind Power was the Shinshin school's strongest foundation. It was also the foundation that allowed the Shinshin school to continuously nurture geniuses who cultivated the Mind Dao. However, the Mind Power had been exhausted. In a short time, the Shinshin school couldn't develop much. There was one more thing that was the most fatal. That was, the underground mine had been destroyed. When the Shinshin school headmaster learned that the primordial ancestral stone had been destroyed, he was furious. However, when he thought of the threat from the Fire Demon True Monarch, he completely gave up on the idea. Sect Master, the Shinshin school has been reduced to such a state. Are we just going to let it go like this? The Vice Sect Master's heart couldn't calm down in the past few months. His heart was filled with killing intent. Every time he thought of the Sky Heart Realm Lord, he wanted to rush into Realm City and kill him. Today, he once again came to the forbidden area behind the mountain to ask the Shinshin school's headmaster. This matter started because of me. The underground mine was destroyed, and the power of my mind was exhausted. I am a sinner of the Shinshin school. I beg the school master to agree to let me redeem myself. The vice sect master's eyes were red as he said in a deep voice. The head of Shinshin school slowly opened his eyes. His whole body emitted a monstrous aura. What? You want to sneak into the world capital to kill World Overlord Skyheart? The vice sect master, whose thoughts had been seen through by the Shinshin school's head, directly admitted, that's right. As long as Realm Lord Tian Xin doesn't die, I won't be at ease. Even if those 2 peerless powerhouses were in World City, they couldn't possibly keep an eye on everything happening in World City all the time. As long as I have the chance, I can sneak in without anyone noticing. In his opinion, as long as he could kill Fang Chen, he would not hesitate even if he had to die. The principal of Shinshin school gently shook his head. A hint of worry appeared in his deep eyes. Do you think that I haven't thought about this problem? The principal of Shinshin school sighed. Those 2 mysterious elders are much stronger than you think. After a slight pause, the principal of Shinshin school continued, all these years, I have been cultivating in a relic, looking for a way to break through. However, even with all my strength, I still can't take the most crucial step. However, those 2 mysterious elders have already taken the step. No one knew better than the principal of Shinshin school how terrifying those 2 powerhouses were. Without coming into contact with them, one would never know how terrifying they were. But, the vice sect master's heart was filled with unwillingness. Are we just going to let it go like this? The principal of Shinshin school seemed to be tired. His face was filled with fatigue. He waved his hand and said, "You can go back first. I know what to do about this matter." The vice sect master still wanted to say something, but in the end, he left the meeting hall. Buzz. As soon as the vice sect master left, a black luster suddenly appeared in the meeting hall. As soon as the black luster appeared, the entire meeting hall instantly fell silent. A bloody and evil aura quickly condensed on the throne and finally turned into a vague figure. "Let's cooperate," the vague figure said in a hoarse voice. The principal of Shinshin School turned his head and stared at the vague figure on the throne. "You want me to betray the human race and cooperate with the corpse demon?" The principal of Shinshin School said in a low voice. The vague figure shrugged and laughed sarcastically. "Principal of Shinshin School, don't forget what you have done all these years when you were missing." Hearing this, the principal of Shinshin School's face instantly darkened. He was immediately furious. "What? Are you angry from embarrassment? If I hadn't helped you back then, you would have died in that relic. Now that you've obtained a great opportunity, you've forgotten my kindness?" The vague figure didn't seem to be afraid of the principal of Shinshin School at all. He continued, "What you did in the relic back then actually violated the rules of the human race. If I spread this matter, the higher-ups of the human race will definitely kill you." The principal of Shinshin School's expression changed. He suppressed the anger in his heart and said coldly, "What do you want?" The vague figure stood up from the throne and laughed eerily. "The second half of the secret method you've cultivated is in my hands. If you cooperate with the corpse demon, I can give you the second half of the secret method for free. Moreover, I will use all the strength of the corpse demon to help you become the strongest person in the dragon field. What do you want in return?" the principal of Shinshin School asked. Over the years, the vague figure had asked him to cooperate more than once, but he had been heartlessly rejected. However, this time, after the previous defeat, the Shinshin School was on the verge of collapse. The principal of Shinshin School didn't want to see the Shinshin School destroyed in his own hands. Besides, he was very eager for the second half of the secret method. Therefore, his thoughts wavered. It was because he had noticed this that the vague figure appeared and continued to persuade him. "I, the corpse demon, want to survive. I want cultivation resources. When you become the king of the dragon field, give me half of the cultivation resources in the dragon field," the vague figure said. "Of course, before that, I, the corpse demon, will do my best to assist the Shinshin School," the vague figure said. He was very confident that the principal of Shinshin School would agree. Because the corpse demon had made an offer that the principal of Shinshin School couldn't refuse. "Let me think about it." The principal of Shinshin School closed his eyes. He seemed a little tired. In an elegant courtyard in the border city, Fang Chen sat cross-legged on the ground, surrounded by the power of time and space. If one observed carefully, they would find that his every move could change the flow of time and space around him. This was the embodiment of a person who had cultivated the space-time doctrine to an extremely high level. However, Fang Chen wasn't satisfied with this. He wanted to be like a rock, soaring up to the ninth heaven. Inside his body, 5 stellar nuclei were revolving. The 6th stellar nucleus had already formed a wrinkled shape. Buzz. Suddenly, the void flickered. The immortal scepter appeared out of thin air, making a loud and clear sound. At the same time, the 5 stellar nuclei in Fang Chen's body were also eager to try and rush out of his body. Condense. Fang Chen knew that the time was right. He began to devote himself to condensing the 6th immortal stellar nucleus. Boom, boom, boom. With the help of the 5 stellar nuclei and the endless energy from the immortal scepter, the 6th stellar nucleus was completely condensed in the blink of an eye. Boom. When the 6th immortal stellar nucleus was successfully condensed, it connected with the other 5 and released a vast amount of immortal stellar force. The immortal stellar force quickly spread to Fang Chen's limbs and bones. He could clearly feel that his Emperor Realm physical body seemed to have improved a lot. Whoosh! Fang Chen opened his eyes and punched out. Rip! The void in front of him was directly pierced through by his punch. The monstrous power rose to the sky. Countless martial artists in World City were shocked by this news. Their hearts were in turmoil, and they were extremely shocked. What had happened? Why was the border city shaking? Whoosh, 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 whoosh. The 5 kings of the border city also appeared in the void immediately. When they found that the movement was caused by Fang Chen, they were also a little stunned. The 5 kings of the border city landed in Fang Chen's courtyard and looked at him seriously. The 5 people's faces were filled with envy. Amazing, really amazing. The lord of the border city sighed. No wonder he is the candidate of the bloodline king. Such potential is really unprecedented. The other 4 kings were also very shocked. The 5 of them looked at each other, their eyes shining with determination. They had been a little worried about investing in Fang Chen, but now it seemed that their worries were completely unnecessary. Chapter 32:11. Fang Chen's potential had received the unanimous approval of the 5 kings of the realm capital. They were even more determined to maintain a good relationship with Fang Chen in the future. The realm capital would fully protect him. In reality, the realm capital master had helped Fang Chen out of the bloodline king's favor. But he hadn't needed to sacrifice the entire realm capital because at that time, the realm capital had been at a clear disadvantage. Yet the realm capital master still did this. One reason was to repay the favor, and the other was because this was an investment he had made in Fang Chen. If he was strong enough in the future, the realm capital would receive unexpected benefits. The 5 kings of the realm capital had discussed this matter more than once. Yet Fang Chen's breakthrough this time made them even more determined. The realm capital master rarely praised young people, but he was full of praise for Fang Chen. He even thought that Fang Chen's future achievements would not be less than Jiyu Tianhua and Lin Qian. In the primordial chaos, only the 2 of them could be considered true geniuses. But in comparison, Fang Chen was far superior to them at the same cultivation level or age. If you need anything, just say the word. All the resources in the realm capital can be used by you. The realm capital master said with a smile. The other 4 kings nodded. While the realm capital wasn't very large compared to the Dragonfield, it was rich in resources that ordinary people couldn't imagine. So many resources could be used by Fang Chen. It was enough to prove the determination of the 5 kings of the realm capital. Thank you, elders. Fang Chen clasped his hands in thanks. After chatting briefly with Fang Chen, the 5 kings of the realm capital left. You just had a breakthrough and need to cultivate. We won't disturb you. Looking at the backs of the 5 kings of the realm capital, Fang Chen showed a hint of a smile. In the dark cave mountain, Little Mouse and the others were still cultivating. Fang Shi, Kang Ju and Tian Xin were also in seclusion. The immortal scepter and the hidden star sword were stabbed into the ground and exuded great power. Do you still remember the immortal Saint Palace? The immortal scepter asked. Fang Chen nodded, and the latter continued, back then, you entered the immortal sacred palace by chance and obtained the old master's inheritance foundation scroll. Now, with your strength, you are fully qualified to obtain the complete inheritance. Hearing that, Fang Chen's heart skipped a beat. He already knew what the immortal scepter wanted to say. Now, it's time to go back and retrieve the complete inheritance. Immortal inheritance. Fang Chen's eyes were burning. He clenched his fists and his heart was pounding. That was the inheritance of the immortal emperor. Perhaps no one in the entire primordial chaos could resist such a great temptation. Thinking of this, Fang Chen nodded heavily. Back then, the immortal emperor had established the Immortal Academy of Creation to cultivate geniuses for the human race. Therefore, he hid the Imperishable Institute of Creation in the void, and it would automatically appear every once in a while. Every time the Imperishable Courtyard of Fortune opened, it indicated that there would be top geniuses appearing. It had been some time since the last time it opened. At that time, Fang Chen had coincidentally entered it. Moreover, by chance, he had obtained the inheritance of the immortal emperor. Now, under the guidance of the immortal scepter, he would once again enter the Imperishable Institute of Creation. The night was as still as water. In the vast world city, it was pitch black. The sky was dotted with stars. Occasionally, a cold wind would blow, heralding the arrival of autumn. There was no one on the quiet ground. The withered yellow leaves fluttered in the wind. Whoosh whoosh whoosh. Suddenly, a black shadow appeared in a dark corner. The black shadow looked around and then quickly disappeared. Soon after, the black shadow appeared in front of the elegant courtyard. His pitch-black eyes flashed with a crazed look. Go in. Crash. The black shadow entered the elegant courtyard and immediately launched a fierce attack on the pavilion. Rumble. Under his powerful attack, the pavilion shattered with a loud bang. However, at this moment, he felt that something was wrong. He's not here. The black shadow did not detect Fang Chen's aura. His face suddenly changed. Damn it, I've been tricked. When he realized it, it was too late. In the void, a huge handprint covered the sky. Crack. The black shadow could not escape. He detonated the power in his body and exploded. The elegant courtyard was turned into ruins. However, above the ruins, 5 figures appeared one after another. Their faces were a little gloomy, and they were very unhappy. Are they from the Shinshan school? No, they are men of sacrifice, the Lord of the World City said in a deep voice. Strictly speaking, men of sacrifice did not belong to the category of human beings. There was a kind of evil martial artists in the world. They cultivated evil methods and forcibly refined human beings into war machines. They had no feelings and no thoughts. They carried out orders like walking corpses. Once they failed, they would explode, leaving no clues for the enemy. They must be men of sacrifice hired by the Shinshan school. The faces of the other 4 kings were full of anger. If Fang Chen had not told them in advance that he had something to deal with and would not return for a while, the men of sacrifice might have succeeded. How dare the Shinshan school ignore the world city like this? Aren't they afraid that the 2 kings will be angry? I'll go to the Shinshan school right now. Stop. The Lord of the World City stopped the other 4 kings. We have no evidence to prove that this was done by the Shinshan school. Men of sacrifice are very rare in the territory of the World City. The force that can send men of sacrifice is at least a powerful force in the dragon field. The Lord of the World City said, don't alert the enemy first. Maybe there are some unknown secrets behind this matter. Shinshan school. The men of sacrifice failed. The blurry black shadow sat on the throne and said calmly. Exposed, the Lord of the Shinshan school asked expressionlessly. Of course not. There are many forces in the dragon field with men of sacrifice. One man of sacrifice doesn't mean anything. The blurry black shadow said, don't worry. It's just a greeting gift. I believe that when the 5 old guys see the men of sacrifice, they will definitely suspect that the Shinshan school has contacted the powerful forces in the dragon field. This is called disturbing the morale of the army. Looking at the evil smile on the blurry black shadow's face, the Lord of the Shinshan school frowned slightly. I know what you're worried about. Don't worry, I'm here. The blurry black shadow said, I've given you the second half of the secret method. Hurry up and practice it. Speaking of the secret method, the Lord of the Shinshan school's face softened a lot. The endless wasteland was filled with dense immortal star power. Swoosh. The void flashed, and Fang Chen's body suddenly appeared. He stepped on the immortal scepter and passed through forests, hills, and mountains. Finally, he came to the immortal Holy Palace. The immortal Holy Palace is right ahead. The immortal scepter said. With the immortal scepter leading the way, Fang Chen could easily cultivate in the Immortal Academy of Creation. The complete inheritance is in the Universe God Institute, the immortal scepter said. While speaking, the immortal scepter took Fang Chen through the boundary wall and came to the Universe God Institute. Buzz. A vast great desolate eon aura surged over from the distant horizon. Suddenly, Fang Chen felt the pressure on him increase. Fang Chen's face changed slightly. He looked around and vaguely felt a sense of danger. What's going on? Fang Chen said in a low voice. The Immortal Academy of Creation is all-encompassing and covers thousands of things. The old master once caught a large number of demonic beasts and put them in the top 3 schools to train human warriors. Over the countless years, the demonic beasts in the top 3 schools have cultivated to a very high level. They also occupied the blessed places that the master once built and formed a strong force. The dangerous aura you felt came from here, the Immortal Scepter said. But don't worry, we can enter the Immortal Holy Palace directly. Then the Immortal Scepter and Fang Chen released immortal star power. They merged and suddenly disappeared. Roar. In the endless primitive land of the Universe God Institute, many demonic beasts sensed the aura of humans and roared angrily. Some powerful demonic beasts even walked out of their territories to search for humans. Humans should be killed. Kill the humans and avenge our race. Countless angry voices echoed in the sky above the Universe God Institute. Demonic chi filled the sky and the earth shook. Chapter 32:12. The Immortal Academy of Creation was personally created by the Immortal Emperor. Its essence was to create geniuses for the human race. Over the years, every time the Immortal Academy of Creation appeared, it would shake the entire Chaos Realm. Countless super experts of the immemorial Chaos Realm were paying attention. In fact, there were even people that were trying their best to enter it. It was rumored that anyone who could walk out of the Immortal Academy of Creation alive would have great achievements in the future. Every time the Immortal Academy of Creation opened, there would be super geniuses appearing. Fang Chen had obtained a great opportunity in the Immortal Academy of Creation, which allowed him to undergo a complete transformation. Now that he was a sector lord, he had already finished cultivating the foundation of the immortal inheritance. This time, with the help of the Immortal Scepter, he entered the Immortal Sacred Palace again to receive the complete immortal inheritance. 1. The Immortal Sacred Palace was as peaceful as ever. Fang Chen looked around. Although many years had passed, the Immortal Sacred Palace hadn't changed at all. The only change was that the Immortal Scepter that once stood in the Immortal Sacred Palace was no longer there. As soon as he entered the Immortal Sacred Palace, he felt a familiar aura. Immortal star power. The Immortal Sacred Palace was filled with rich immortal star power. Standing in the middle of the palace, Fang Chen felt the immortal star core in his body rapidly revolving, resonating with the immortal star power in the void. Crack. Just as Fang Chen was thinking, a crack suddenly appeared on the wall at the front of the palace. Immediately after, the crack spread rapidly, and in the blink of an eye, the complete wall became fragmented. Under countless cracks, the wall shattered, and countless fragments fell to the ground. Behind the fragments, there was a layer of golden light that completely covered the inside of the wall. Seeing this, Fang Chen's face turned solemn, his eyes filled with passion. The complete immortal inheritance is here. The Immortal Scepter transmitted. At the same time, its body flashed, turning into a ray of golden light that entered the wall. Crash. The Immortal Scepter's action caused the golden light to shake. Fang Chen felt that the 6 immortal star cores in his body were revolving faster and faster, as if they wanted to rush out of his body. Within the golden light, there was a huge commotion within the wall. Fang Chen narrowed his eyes, staring at the golden light. In just a breath, the golden light was rapidly spreading at a speed visible to the naked eye. Rip. When the golden light completely dispersed, Fang Chen was shocked to discover that one end of the Immortal Scepter was inserted into the wall. Light runes on the scepter. Immortal star core, the Immortal Scepter transmitted. Hearing this, Fang Chen nodded heavily and quickly came before the Immortal Scepter. 1. With a thought, the 6 immortal star nuclei, which had been shaking, quickly flew out of his body and surrounded the Immortal Scepter. Fang Chen sat cross-legged on the ground. The Immortal Scepter was right in front of him. Dong. A vast amount of energy surged out of the Immortal Scepter and gushed into Fang Chen's body. Unknowingly, Fang Chen closed his eyes and entered a state of cultivation. Even in ancient times, the Immortal Emperor was considered a supreme expert in the Chaos Realm. His methods were invincible. He had once experienced the most terrifying battle of gods during the ancient times. Some people said that he had fallen, while others said that he was still alive. After the Battle of Godfall, no one saw him again. Even the Immortal Scepter did not know where the Immortal Emperor had gone. The only thing the Immortal Emperor had left for the world was the legendary Immortal Academy of Creation. Now, Fang Chen had gained the recognition of the Immortal Scepter and was qualified to receive the complete immortal inheritance. With the help of the Immortal Scepter, it was much easier to receive the inheritance. Outside, in the distant horizon, countless demonic beasts were frantically searching for traces of humans. However, at that moment, the entire universe God Institute trembled as though the end of the world had arrived. The sky became gloomy and dark clouds covered the sky. It was as though they were going to swallow the universe God Institute. What happened? Sensing the terrifying aura coming from the sky, many great demons' expressions changed drastically as they cried out in alarm. Swoosh! Just as they were puzzled, they suddenly saw a dazzling palace in the distant horizon. It appeared out of nowhere and floated in mid-air. The palace was golden in color and radiated a dazzling light that lit up the entire land. Some of the great demons recognized the immortal sacred palace and their expressions changed drastically. It's the immortal sacred palace. The immortal sacred palace has appeared. Could it be that humans have entered it? Damn it, we can't let him succeed. Otherwise, we will be met with a great disaster. At the same time, countless great demons in the entire universe God Institute roared. They rushed towards the immortal sacred palace in a frenzy, wanting to stop Fang Chen from receiving the inheritance. Swoosh! In the void, there were 5 huge great demons. The 5 of them were recognized as the Demon Kings and the strongest fighting force in the Universe God Institute. In the blink of an eye, the 5 great demons were the first to arrive in front of the immortal sacred palace. The 5 great demons looked at each other with solemn expressions. The appearance of the immortal sacred palace must mean that human martial artists have entered it, one of the great demons said. The immortal emperor's inheritance is inside. No matter what, we can't let him get it. Otherwise, our demon clan will be completely annihilated, another great demon said. That's right. Our clan has been trapped in the immortal academy of creation for countless eras. According to the immortal emperor's promise, we will be free after 2 more eras. We can't let anything happen to this. The 5 great demons had the same thought. They had to stop the human from receiving the immortal inheritance. After all, they weren't sure who the person who had received the inheritance was. If it was a bloodthirsty martial artist, then their clan would face the greatest crisis in history. Let's attack the immortal sacred palace together. The 5 great demons quickly made a decision. They stomped their feet and stood in 5 different directions of the immortal sacred palace. Attack! Following the roar of one of the great demons, 5 majestic forces whizzed out. Rumble! When the attacks of the 5 great demons landed on the immortal sacred palace, the entire sacred palace shook. Wang! However, the complex golden runes on the walls of the sacred palace flickered and blocked the attacks of the 5 great demons. Let's work together to break the runes and weaken its defense. Then we can attack. Time waits for no one. The 5 great demons didn't want to waste any more time. The 5 of them attacked separately to destroy the runes. The golden runes smoothly revolved on the walls of the sacred palace. The powerful attacks of the 5 great demons instantly slowed them down. Continue to attack. Seeing that their attacks were effective, the 5 great demons continued to attack wildly. 15 minutes later. Crack! The golden runes instantly stopped revolving and the defense of the immortal sacred palace was greatly weakened. Attack! Seeing this, the 5 great beasts smiled excitedly. While they were attacking wildly, a dense crowd of demon beasts rushed to the front of the immortal sacred palace. For our clan, countless great demons roared to the sky. For a moment, the immortal sacred palace and the Universe God Institute were shaken. Inside the sacred palace, Pucci, Fang Chen, who was comprehending the inheritance, suddenly opened his eyes. His throat moved and he spat out a mouthful of blood. His face was slightly pale. His face was gloomy and he frowned slightly. Many great demons in the Universe God Institute are attacking the immortal sacred palace in a frenzy to stop you from receiving the inheritance, the immortal scepter said. At this moment, the immortal scepter had returned to Fang Chen's side. They have been locked in the immortal courtyard of creation by the old master for countless years. They have dreamed of getting out. Now that they finally have a chance, they won't let it go. They might even go crazy, the immortal scepter said. If we want to leave now, we will definitely be attacked by them. The best way is to control the immortal courtyard of creation. Control the immortal courtyard of creation? Fang Chen's eyes lit up. However, with your current strength, it's too difficult to control it. It's almost impossible, the immortal scepter said. Hearing this, Fang Chen's face was a little gloomy. However, there is still a glimmer of hope. The immortal scepter continued. As long as you can comprehend a part of the complete inheritance, you will be able to form the immortal barrier. With this opportunity, we can leave the Universe God Institute. Fang Chen clenched his fists, his eyes flickering. Chapter 32:13. The immortal inheritance was the culmination of the immortal emperor's life's efforts. It contained many earth-shattering techniques. However, with Fang Chen's current strength, it was unrealistic for him to fully comprehend the inheritance in a short period of time. Therefore, in order to deal with the current crisis, he had to comprehend part of it first. The immortal shield was one of the many techniques of the immortal inheritance. According to the records, using the immortal star power to form the immortal shield, he could completely isolate himself from the outside world and leave the place. Soon, Fang Chen found the records of the immortal shield in the inheritance. After skimming through it, Fang Chen nodded heavily. Will their attacks be able to blast open the gate of the immortal sacred palace? The immortal scepter said, after all, the immortal sacred palace was built by the old master himself. It contains his understanding of the supreme rules. It can't be blasted open so easily, but what? Fang Chen asked. There are many great demons in the Universe God Institute who have lived for countless eras. Although their realms may not be too high, their attacks are too strong. As time goes on, the gate of the immortal sacred palace will be blasted open. At that time, they may use this gap to threaten you. Therefore, before they blast open the gap, you must comprehend the immortal shield. According to the current attack, the immortal sacred palace can last for about 3 months. 3 months. That's enough. Fang Chen murmured. Then he sat down cross-legged and closed his eyes. The immortal inheritance crazily surged in his mind. He was racing against time. He had to comprehend the immortal shield within 3 months. Hiss. As time passed, the immortal star power in the immortal sacred palace was unknowingly absorbed by Fang Chen. The 6 immortal star cores in his body were operating crazily. According to the inheritance, to form the immortal shield, one needed at least 7 immortal star cores. Soon. Fang Chen murmured in his heart. However, he did not know that not long after he left the World City, there was an uproar in the territory of the World City. The Shinshan School, which had been silent for a while, made a strong comeback. The principal of Shinshan School was even more determined to reorganize the sect. At the same time, the people of Shinshan School were also sneaking into the darkness around Jie City. As long as the Shinshan School headmaster gave the order, they would be able to surround Jie City in an instant. There was a mountain 300 miles away from World City. A man had just reached the foot of the mountain when he was attacked by lightning. Boom! 2 mysterious men appeared in the void. Their bodies were shrouded in a black luster. As soon as they appeared, they immediately attacked the man. Who are you? The man who was being attacked asked in a deep voice as he retreated. After he forcefully stabilized himself, he looked at the 2 people in front of him in horror. The person who killed you. I'm from the world capital. How dare you attack me near the world capital? The man from Realm City used the 5 kings of Realm City to threaten the 2 people in front of him. However, threats were useless. Someone from Realm City? All the more he deserves to be killed. The 2 men smiled sinisterly and attacked at lightning speed. Their terrifying attacks instantly engulfed the man from World City. You! Shinshan School. In the blink of an eye, the man from World City was killed. Before he died, he finally found out that the people who killed him were from Shinshan School. With unwillingness, he fell to the ground and lost his life forever. Let's go. After doing all this, the 2 men disappeared again. At the same time, similar things were happening around World City, whether it was in the wilderness, the mountains, or the mountains. As long as one was from World City, they would be attacked to varying degrees. In just half a month, more than 100 people from World City were killed. Finally, one day, a realm lord dragged his battered body into World City. Only then did the 5 kings of Realm City learn of this. Boom! In the City Lord's mansion, the 5 kings of Realm City were furious. How dare the Shinshin School secretly kill people from World City? Damn the Shinshin School, they've gone too far. The other 4 kings were infuriated. Their eyes fell on the Realm City Lord. City Lord, Shinshin School has secretly surrounded World City. As long as the Shinshin School Lord gives the order, World City will be destroyed in an instant. One of the kings said worriedly, "We don't know where the 2 seniors are and we can't contact them. Realm Lord Tianxin has also left. If the Shinshin School really attacks, then..." Thinking of this, the 4 kings' expressions became more serious. "Don't panic." The Realm City Lord said, "The Shinshin School didn't attack directly. Instead, they secretly killed people who walked out of World City. This means that they're afraid of us. To be exact, they're afraid of the 2 seniors. Now, they're not sure if the 2 seniors have left, so they don't dare to act rashly." The Realm City Lord continued, "At least, they won't attack World City in the short term. During this time, all we have to do is wait." But the Realm City Lord waved his hand and shook his head. "Shinshin School. How's it going?" In the meeting hall, on the throne shrouded in a vast black fog, the black figure looked down at the vice suzerain and asked, "Our people have already surrounded World City. As long as someone walks out, they'll definitely die." The vice suzerain said, "However, there was a person who was extremely good at speed. He escaped. I think World City already knows about this." Hearing this, the black figure nodded. "I see. You can leave now." After the vice suzerain left the meeting hall, he shook his head slightly. Why did the suzerain ask everyone in Shinshin School to listen to this person? Who is he? Now in Shinshin School, the suzerain was in seclusion to cultivate the secret method, and the black figure had become the actual person in charge. Of course, this was also the intention of the Shinshin School Lord. He secretly disguised the strong cultivators of the corpse demon as disciples of Shinshin School and sneaked into World City to wait for an opportunity to act. At the same time, he was also using this opportunity to deploy the corpse demon's plan. In his eyes, the Shinshin School Lord and the entire Shinshin School was just a pawn in the corpse demon's plan. Once they lost their value, it would be the time for the 4 kings. The plan this time must succeed. On the throne, the black figure's eyes were deep as he said coldly, "Realm Lord Tianxin must die." The potential that Realm Lord Tianxin had shown had already alarmed the higher-ups of the corpse demon. The corpse demon sent out an order to kill Realm Lord Tianxin at all costs. The black figure felt that this was the closest he had gotten to completing his mission. Time passed, and in the blink of an eye, 3 months had passed. During this time, the great demons of the Universe God Institute attacked the immortal sacred palace crazily. Catcher. Suddenly, a crack appeared on the door. Then, a storm of attacks passed through the crack and blasted into the immortal sacred palace. Not good. The immortal scepter turned into a golden stream of light and instantly appeared in front of the crack, blocking it with its body. Rumble. A vast amount of attacks landed on the immortal scepter. On the scepter, golden light flashed and runes flowed. Powerful immortal star energy crazily surged. Even so, a portion of the energy still managed to pass through the seal and hit the immortal scepter. Catcher. The immortal scepter was blasted away and fell to the ground. In the outside world, the 5 great demons' faces were filled with joy. Almost there, continue to attack. The crack in the immortal sacred palace was the best opportunity. Under the command of the 5 great demons, all the demonic beasts unleashed their strongest attacks and attacked the door. However, at this moment, Fang Chen, who was sitting cross-legged, opened his eyes. In his body, 7 immortal star cores were slowly rotating. After 3 months of cultivation, he had finally condensed his 7th immortal star core. And he had finally comprehended the immortal barrier's ultimacy. The immortal barrier is similar to the Tao of seals. Fang Chen said slowly, "This time, it's all thanks to the sealed sky tablet. Without the sealed sky tablet, he wouldn't have been able to comprehend the immortal barrier's ultimacy so quickly." Voila! Fang Chen got up and looked at the door. "How's your comprehension?" The immortal scepter asked anxiously. Fang Chen nodded gently. I've succeeded. That's great. The immortal scepter was overjoyed. Fang Chen raised his hand and the immortal inheritance in his mind operated. The 7 immortal star cores were fully activated, and vast immortal star energy gathered in his palm. Voila! He stretched out a finger and gently drew a line in the void.